right?
Freedom.
Hi, everybody.
Freedom, brothers
Well,
and
anyway.
sisters. Freedom. The land. Yes, freedom. Land of hope and glory.
Just to finish off what I was saying,
yes.
I said, that's no monkey. That's my mother. Let her out that cage, right? And that's the funniest story I know.
Well,
and that explains so much.
Rabbi, you need to paint your face like Mel Gibson when he was on horseback.
Yeah.
Half and half.
No, I'll go for more adamant. That's more my Prince Charming. Remember that?
Adamant, yeah. Prince Charming.
I got an update.
Stand and deliver.
Oh, that was there. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah,
Stay tuned for the end of the stream because things are not. I just got an update and things are not going very well at all for Frank on the farm. It is an absolute disaster. So pray for Frank, and you got to stay till the end of the stream to find out how things are going for Frank. And it's not good, and the pigs may have won.
I can't wait to find out. You made me think of Adam and the Ants, and that tune "Stand and Deliver." That's a lot like the divorce court. Just stand and deliver half of everything you own. Anyway.
I gave away more. I'm giving away more.
Well, no, you see that may be the British divorce court. Canada, you do that as well, but then you get castrated, and all sorts of other things happen. Then you get shamed, but you end up happy.
I thought you were going to say
because we're all so happy here.
Hey, Chris, if you think about it, July 4th today.
Oh God, it is happy. You don't live in Canada Day, Gary.
July 4th today is kind of like British Divorce Court Day historically, if you think about it.
I guess
this is our divorce from the lovely Brits.
And I would like to congratulate Gary. We burnt down your White House in 1812. Canada's terrible. We had Canada Day on July 1st. I did not celebrate. Nobody celebrated. I did not see a single fucking Canadian flag on Canada Day. Kind of tells you the general mood of my nation.
Well, it's quite understandable.
Well, yeah, this is out. Despite my waving, I'm just wondering: will Keir Starmer make it his last act to arrest me, or will it be Andy Burnham's first act to arrest me, just simply for possessing one of these?
Well, we'll get some good streams out of it if he does.
When's he coming in?
He's already in, really, but I think not officially for about a week. So he's been in since he won that by-election. Weirdly enough. The Labour Party started to behave completely differently.
By-election, is that kind of like by-generation?
It's worse. It's even worse.
It's worse. Wow.
It's even worse because we get... this time, this is sort of the general lay of the land. This is how it's going to work out. It's sort of like this.
Okay.
So I'd say that's generally speaking worse because you're
still better than us.
You're lured into a false sense of security. I think that's what it is.
You should have the lump of shit in jeans because that's really the only difference.
So, Dan, are you saying it's kind of like better the devil you know? Is that kind of what you're saying?
No, firstly, that's my favourite single by Kylie Minogue for a start. And no, in all fairness, usually I would be a subscriber to that way of thinking that it's better the devil you know. But in this instance, no. I think that Starmer was simply evil from his very core. He was inhuman, whereas Andy Burnham is just your typical kind of black artist, bullshitter. He's all surface gloss in a way that Tony Blair was, but he's not the politician that Tony Blair was. Unfortunately for the British public, Tony Blair was a brilliant politician, and so he was able to get away with a hell of a lot. Andy Burnham is he's the left-wing version of Boris Johnson. Nothing more, nothing less. And the Labour Party have reached for him as a measure of the same sort of desperations for when the Tories reached for Boris Johnson, because he'd been very popular as the mayor of London. Andy Burnham's been very popular as the mayor of Manchester. And I think, this cult of personality, which is a kind of, I think that does propel a lot of modern politics, even though we've got a parliamentary system for voting. And we vote for the parties, not the people. Even though we have a parliamentary system, we are now fully into that personality politics, way of doing things. So we're stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea there. And so they've got this guy, and they've parachuted him in out of sheer desperation, because it's going to be about 2 years till the next GE, and just hoping that we'll be as charmed nationally as the people of Manchester were when he was smiling at them while he was picking their pockets. They hope the rest of the country is as stupid as the people who bought into that King of the North bullshit. If you look at the statistics of Greater Manchester, he's made a terrible job. It's sort of like third or fourth worst for practically everything you could imagine in Manchester. But he held court in a very kind of amusing way, in the same way Boris Johnson did when he was mayor of London. He sort of wore the silly hat, smiled at the right people, greased the right palms, allegedly. But Andy Burnham is the only person of a certain sort of criteria who is named by name, identified by name, in the recently published grooming gang report. So I'd say that was, generally speaking, a bad indicator of what you're getting into. But yeah, who am I? I'm just an arsehole broadcasting about pop culture out of his garage. So
Dan, before you, the story about I have a story, but I will make it short, about the devil you know and the devil you don't know. We'll file this under "You Don't Want to Be Canada." So we're going to go back to the year of our Lord 2015. There was this country called Canada. We were a happy place. Things were affordable. You could buy a house. We had very little crime. Everybody was employed. Everybody was happy. Our immigration system at the time was considered the best in the world. Everybody was happy. But we had this prime minister of the Conservative Party of Canada by the name of Stephen Harper, who had been there for 9 years. Now, Stephen actually was generally a very good prime minister. He did, we were the only country that didn't implode in 2008. But Stephen started to lose touch a little bit. It seemed like he was sort of favoring more the 1% in the province of Alberta. Stephen was also the most uncharismatic person you'll ever meet. He looked like a grown-up Ralph Wiggum, but with less of a personality. He was an economist, so that's fun. So Canada decided, well, we're getting tired of... Now, I would like to say this is another incident of I told you so, and nobody ever listens to me. But there had been what I will call this pompous little shit who had taken over the Liberal Party 2 years before because Daddy had been formerly prime minister. And this pompous little shit had never worked a day in his life other than briefly being a substitute drama teacher. His life had been a party. This is he did blackface and punched ladies and all sorts of terrible things, allegedly. His
real father was Fidel Castro, wasn't it?
Yeah, his adopted father, but although he actually makes Castro look good. But back to my story. So Canada at the time, we're a little bit tired of this Stephen Harper character, and he's not going to resign, even though several prime ministers, including 2 former Liberal prime ministers, told him you should probably resign because you're not going to win this election. Up until the events of 2015, our former prime ministers on either side actually all got along. So my country and all its stupidity decided, well, we're tired of this doughy old Ralph Wiggum. We want something new. We're gonna elect this guy who goes by the name of Justin with the nice hair. The devil you don't know. And at the time, I was telling everybody I knew, do not vote Liberal, for the love of God. This guy's an idiot. He's a narcissist, and things are going to end very badly. And everybody was like, no. And then they called me names because, well, no, he wants to improve immigration. Are you an arist? Oh, improve immigration. Yeah. So in all its infinite stupidity in this dark day in October 2015, we had our general election, at which point Mr. Harper, having not listened to the advice, got kicked out of office, and young Justin came in, and I said, it's going to be bad. Now, I could never have fathomed it would get as bad as it did. Nobody could have fathomed that. But he got elected. I'm like, see, he's going to be fine. And then on his first day in office, he decided, because it's 2015, he's going to have an equal gender cabinet. So things kind of spiraled down from there.
I remember that was day one.
And The meme is still heard around the world, so I need not tell you where Canada Day is right now. To when it was Canada Day on Wednesday, and nobody celebrated Canada Day because we live in hell. So the devil you don't know can end very bad, and Canada is kind of a Star Wars story because little Justin was controlled by the Emperor. So I guess you could say Justin is Darth Vader, just prettier. But Canada, in its additional infinite wisdom, which is why we hate this country, I'm like, oh no, Darth Vader, he hasn't damaged enough. We're gonna elect the fucking Emperor, and now here we are. So
he's
that's
actually, it's amazing. He's actually worse. I mean, it really is truly astounding.
Rabbi, he has a majority now.
Okay.
Evil genius.
Look, Canada deserves everything it gets, in my mind.
Although in defense of Canada, yes, this country is full of mostly idiots, which is why we got here. But there are many of us who did not vote for this, and we are now trapped in hell. We no longer refer to ourselves as Canadians. We now refer to ourselves as, unfortunately, having been born in the country known as Canada, and are now trapped in absolute hell with no way out. And just ask about the emigration tax. That's fun. But we can't even go to the U.S. anymore because we've declared war on the U.S. because we're going to be part of Europe. Make that make sense. Okay.
Welcome to the Eurovision Song Contest. I heard about this. I heard about this, Chris. Are you going to be tempted to put in an entry for the Eurovision Song Contest? I know you used to be in a band. Is it going to reawaken your dreams of going back on stage and giving it some?
You're not allowed on stage if you're a white male in Canada. You are to look at the ground. And Canadian policing is something else now. They've got a new policing model, Dan. This is fun. Oh no, you may have two-tier Britain. Oh no, we've got an entirely new model in Canada.
It's not like this, is it? It's not like this, is it?
Well, it is kind of.
That's fine with me.
Oh, policing in Canada means actual criminals are not criminals because criminality is now a stigmatization. So, like the drug addicts and sellers and stuff that are pooping all over my neighborhood, they're fine. But if I say something bad on the socials that the government disagrees with, that's what policing comes to now.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish I had an American flag today.
We've got about 5 days for Starmer. Come and get me, Starmer, if you dare. Yes, so let's focus back on what I wanted to talk about, Gary, which was this. So I went to the supermarket. This was yesterday. It was a very nice day yesterday. And so I went to the supermarket. I was amazed. Because usually Canada Day, even the 4th of July, I'm ashamed to say, until recent years, it's passed me by. But now I can't miss it. Check this out in my local supermarket. A Taste of America is absolutely everywhere right now. This is in Aldi, but it's all over the place in all the big supermarkets. A whole wall of American goodies. So is this the kind of stuff that you usually chow down on? A peanut flip? No, that sounds like a sex act. Okay, but salty.
I don't know. No, the only thing that looks familiar to me is the Pop-Tarts up at the top. I actually have a box of Pop-Tarts over there in my kitchen. I'm looking at it right now.
One of the worst movies I saw in the last few years was the Jerry Seinfeld movie about the creation of Pop-Tarts.
Oh, please don't. I don't want to know.
It was awful. Oh my god!
And the pickles on the third shelf down. The pickles are
big. Yeah, pickles are a big thing.
Well, I hope Dan, that you actually partook of a Taste of America, Dan, when you were in the store.
I was with a young lady, so I was out with my girlfriend, and she picked up some of those apple pie cookies. So I don't know. I didn't stick around. I forgot that she bought. So I didn't stick around.
Apple pie cookies are good, baby. That's good stuff.
Where's your Taste of Canada shelf, Dan?
I did ask. I asked the manager about that, and he said, "Where's Canada again?" So it used to be above America, but it's recently been lost in a state of meteorological mystery. You never know what's.
Well, they can't, Chris. They can't have a Taste of Canada because Canada has no taste, so that's why.
No. Canada used to have no taste. Those were the good days.
Yes. So,
Dan, how long does that display stay up? Will that stay up for a while, or?
No, well, knowing this is Britain, so they'll probably took it down yesterday.
They're probably like getting ready for the Christmas display now.
Oh no!
It is like that.
Rabbi, we cannot say Christmas anymore in Canada.
Okay.
And I am not allowed to say it anymore because it's a hate crime.
Okay.
Happy 4th of July, Gary. Sincerely, and everybody there.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud, really. I mean, this is an amazing, 250 years young, and we're just getting started.
Isn't it 250 this year?
In a proud country?
What?
What's it like to live in a proud country and be proud of where you're from?
Well,
I'm the only one who can answer that, and it's pretty good.
I mean,
we asked an expert, and
there you go. There you go.
It's going to be huge.
If we're, I mean, there's going to be a colossal celebration tonight. I think around the Statue of Liberty. If we still had the former guy in there, God only knows what shape we'd be in right now.
You'd be celebrating Canada Day.
Yeah, but no, it's great. And you know what? I mean, the people that I don't hate the people that rally against the country. I kind of honestly pity them, because you know what? There's lots of places to go if you don't want to stay here.
Yeah, they don't want to go anywhere.
Come here, dudes. You'll love it.
Yeah. Just start heading to all those people, Chris. I would just say start heading north, and then they'd be welcome with open arms.
Well, no. If you're white, you will not be welcomed with open arms. They're not welcome here. But if you're a criminal and you bring your guns and your drugs over, you'll get a nice welcome cake, and they'll make me pay for it.
I'm just trying to work out in the live chat who are our American cousins, who are Gary's countrymen. I think Nicholas Horton could be there. So if you are American, because I'm not entirely sure who is American and who isn't, identify yourselves, everybody, and you will get you'll get a round of cheers and applause. Well, we can't put the balloons up, but we're celebrating with you in our hearts. Of course we are. And I think that the World Cup is still going on, but not really interested in that. This is where we talk about pop culture and
if it's things. Canada, I will accept your message of solidarity, because we will not be celebrating, but we like to know that we're not alone in our misery. Go ahead, Dan.
Yes, it's. I think these events these days, generally speaking, are wonderful. But just as you said, it's if you've got a country to be proud of. And I remember we used to have a country to be proud of in Britain. Not that long ago, really. I mean, 10, 15, certainly 15 years ago. Yeah, it's amazing how south things have gone quite quickly. As for recovery, I do think America has recovered admirably over the last 2 years.
Yes,
we're really going to need to pull something out of the pack in a couple of years' time at the general election. The answer is not simply swapping one pair of glasses out for another. That's not going to go well. That's not going to go well at all.
And I hope Richard Lowe is able to pull it out in the next couple of years. Although it's bad news for Jews for Richard Lowe, because he's going to end kosher slaughter.
Oh, Richard Lowe, yeah,
they want to end halal slaughter.
Yeah. We had a heat wave last week, and apparently there's another one on the way. So heaven knows what programming is going to be like around here during all of that. I mean, I'm taking what precautions I need to. I'm not sure how far this is going to get me. Probably about as used as the vote is when as a conservative in Britain right now. But we live in hope. We'll see how we get on. I was being baked last weekend, as you may have gathered. I was not a well child. I think I got sunstroke or something, Chris. It was unbearable. It was unbearable. But of course, I've no doubt, just as Gary's said to me a couple of times now, in no time at all, I'll be flooded out, and I'll probably have frostbite or something like that. So you've got to roll with the punches.
Dan, all you need is a special hat. I have my heat stroke hat. And I wear my hat, and yeah. Although I think Dan and I were discussing this week, I think we were actually hotter than you. I sent Dan some fun pictures this week. We won't show them on here because it's of my neighborhood. But I showed Dan a tornado in the making and some very interesting cloud pictures.
That was weird.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Yeah, I've got more. I've got a whole collection. But yes, our clouds no longer look weird. It's like they're being controlled by something. Yeah.
Oh, and one last thing about being proud to be in this country. So very appropriately, the number 3 movie apparently that's gonna for this long holiday weekend, after the Toy Story movie and after the Minions movie, is a movie about George Washington, and that is the number 3 movie in our country, beating out, no surprise, Supergirl. This weekend. A movie about George Washington. More people are going to see that than Supergirl.
Who plays George Washington?
Millie Alcock.
Jerry Seinfeld. No, I'm not sure. It's an independent studio. It's not like a big like Warner Brothers, Paramount. It's actually a small independent studio that put this out. So I can't say. I'm sorry. I can't say who's.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm just so happy for any country that manages to retake their culture, reaffirm their national identity and sovereignty.
I'm just jealous.
Exactly. Rupert Lowe is obviously a very, very based man, but he is but one. But Rupert Lowe and Kemi Badenoch, they can't do it alone, can they? At least we're here. At least we're here. Picking up what we can, where we can, of course. Oh, sorry, bit of light reading there. Okay, so yes, this is where we talk about whatever generally springs to mind in our cold open. Thank you for sticking with us. This has been the first one in 2 or 3 weeks where we've gone into sort of physical media and whatnot. We're going to get into all of that in a little while. We've been talking about all manner of other things that we don't usually talk about on a Saturday, elsewhere, here and there. But we are back, so thank you everybody who's followed us. Who's followed us back. Nicholas Horton wants more Doctor Who talk from you, Chris.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Chris.
Nicholas. So I'm old, I'm middle-aged, and I got to watch the blood pressure. And there's something to do with that show. I just automatically yell. Maybe it's a nervous tick that causes me to yell whenever a certain show comes up. So I have to prepare myself to speak on that because there will be yelling at a very loud volume. I would have to warn the neighbors that nobody's getting killed. I'm just talking about a show I used to like. I also have to warn my dog, and I have to give her extra treats to make up for the yelling.
You're talking about Starfleet Academy?
Oh, Starfleet Academy. Oh, yeah, that's coming again, too.
Oh, God. Why even the words coming again and Starfleet Academy in the same thing? Right?
Because we know you secretly love it.
No, you sound like a rapist, right? Like in the midst of the act.
Funky is back with us on YouTube. It seems like he's just sobered off. He'd been on the cider during the heat wave. But why have you stopped drinking? It's Independence Day. You should be, even though you're not American, that shouldn't stop you. That shouldn't get in the way at all. Happy 4th of July, says Victor Fontaine. Between Amazon Prime days, Kino summer heat sale, Barnes & Noble's half-off Criterion sale. I have no money for fireworks. I know, the sods, the swines.
And we don't get any of those in Canada, aside from Prime Day, which sucks.
Rose asks, should I take being weird as a compliment, Dan?
Yes.
Well, I always have.
Yes, you should.
It depends on the context, obviously. I mean, it depends who's saying it. It depends what's going on, really. But generally speaking, there's worse things to be than being weird, Rose. I always think far worse.
Yeah, Canadian.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, even though obviously Canadians, you didn't know what you're getting into before you did it, did you? We can't hold Canadians to task for their own.
Yes, we can. They elected this party 4 times.
Yes, they did.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. That's very sobering. That is very, very sobering. But I think we can look to the annals of the public service information films, public service announcements for where things may have gone wrong, because instructions were given. Chris, you can't say you weren't told about how to live a virtuous and safe life when there's content such as this laid before you, sometimes on children's television. I understand, and you've got more. You've got more this week. This one seems slightly unusual and more than a little erotic, I found.
Okay. Now you're speaking my language.
This is dedicated to Rabbi.
Okay.
So this week, Joanna Cassidy is going to regale us with a
who's
tale
that?
of horror, and then we will be revisited by an old friend. So roll it, Dan. We're going to learn about forest fires.
You'll know it when you see her, Dan.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet, a place where animals play. It's called a forest, but every year we start forest fires. A careless match, a cigarette, and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful, okay?
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, don't start forest fires, and you can fantasize about me blowing you.
This had to be early 80s.
I believe this is late 70s.
Yeah, late 70s.
I don't think
you know her, Dan, don't you?
No, I don't. But I don't think I've ever lost a semi so quick in my entire life.
She was on several kind of like short-lived TV shows in the 70s, but you will remember her as Zora the Snake Lady from Blade Runner.
That's
Indeed, she was.
Oh, wow.
Well, no, she's actually a bear.
Okay, I always wanted that hairdryer she had in Blade Runner. Right? That was really cool. She was a hair this thing that blows her hair dry. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, just me then, apparently.
So basically, we are watching the ad that turned everybody into furries.
You could be onto something there if it's
so basically, Chris, is this saying that Smokey the Bear is actually a woman?
Well, we learned last time that Smokey the Bear is a complete dick, but he may also be a woman.
Okay.
Oh, you can't trust these animals, can you? They talk a good game, but they rarely deliver. I've often found they rarely deliver.
No, well, we deliver. So that's fun. So what do we want next time? Do we want blood or absurdity?
Oh, give me a blood and absurdity.
And Binkley and Doinkle.
I got one. Okay, next week's, if I can remember, is going to be called The French Are, well, specifically, French Canadians Are Dicks. And I will leave you with that. It's a fun, uplifting tale of misery.
You have flushed out the Joanna Cassidy fans here in the live chat, including
apparently,
Steve.
Dan. I was just checking.
You one over here. Let me tell you.
I was just checking Wikipedia, Dan. Apparently, she was also on 2 episodes of Dallas in 1980. So I can't believe you glossed over that.
Neither can I.
Weirdly enough, Leon from Blade Runner became the fat naked guy from Friends.
Really?
Yeah. If you remember the fat naked guy from Red, that's Leon.
Did we ever see the fat naked guy? I thought he was only ever.
No. You when you eventually was revealed, it was that there was the same actor, although he was fatter.
By that time, he was a really fat naked. I see what you mean. Stephen's just wishing us congratulations on 10 years of Type 40. I should point out, thank you, Stephen. It's yet the Type 40 Facebook group was launched 10 years ago today. So long before even the podcast started, a couple of years before the podcast. And I'd almost forgotten about that, but it's a nice thing. So if you are a member of that Facebook group, thank you for being an active member there, everybody. It does mean a lot to us
Facebook
that people keep engaged with what we do. It's sort of for boomers. I think I'm not officially a boomer, but I think I'm within sniffing distance of being a boomer. I think.
Dan,
the fact that
turn on...
Oh, and look at the great Karen Gillan art, Stephen. Nicely done.
Oh, it's Karen Gillan. Huh?
Yeah,
she's going to be my thumbnil tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I was
going to say be nice, but then I thought, my
thumbnails are not sexy anymore. Sadly, what can you do?
Oh,
have you seen his thumbnails? They're what you would call not safe for work.
Well, I've had to clean up my act over the last few months because I'm going to be dating. I'm getting divorced this week, and I'm going to be dating, and I want to get married. So first thing that somebody will do, right, is like look you up, and they'll see my YouTube channel. If there's a load of boobs, that's a bad sign, right? That's a bad sign for a religious young lady.
But geeky stuff will be fine. You can fill it with Transformers and movies and all sorts of things.
Exactly. I'm totally fine there. That's right.
And you're
and you can have like a members only thumbnail channel.
Maybe, I don't know. I think it might be a thing of the past now.
Well, you had one recently that gave me nightmares.
Which one was that?
It was one of your ones of that British show we don't mention by name, with Russell T Davies sitting on a chair wearing a dunce cap, about to be punished by Sylvester McCoy. I cannot unsee that, dude.
And he was excited about it.
Absolutely brilliant. I like the one where you'd got John Cleese and I can't remember who. And the dead parrot, and somebody was claiming that Ncuti Gatwa had used the parrot as a condom, and he
it was Russell Davies said he's not dead. He's just that's when he's pretending Doctor Who isn't cancelled. Not that we will mention it, right? He's not dead. He's just resting, right? And then John Cleese saying no, he's dead because Ncuti Gatwa used him as a condom.
All the fun of the fair, everybody. All the fun of the fair. More geeky talk coming up, everybody. Sorry, Nicholas, we're light on Doctor Who on this show purposefully for our own sanity, but we do appreciate your support over on Type 40. And there's more geeky stuff coming up in the next few weeks too. All you Star Trek fans, get ready to head back to the final frontier with us too. We can't wait to get stuck into some of that. But before all that, get a load of this. Go on, Chuck. Let them have it. Let them have it. This may be the streaming age right now, but plenty of us here are a particular breed of old dog. We were made of sterner stuff, weren't we? And our old habits, they die especially hard when we weren't out misbehaving there in the streets, on our bikes, as sort of mini daredevils. We were huddled in front of the telly, being indoctrinated by mostly by geeky content, by sci-fi and fantasy and animation and movies that we were often far, far too young to be watching naughty. But that did instill this sort of inherent geekiness in our generation. And when the VHS stores, the rental outlets opened up, we flocked to them to take something home for the weekend, which led to the breakthrough sell-through market. And that's when things really went up the pictures, quite literally, as we filled our homes with walls and walls of pretty bits of plastic, first on cassette and then on shiny discs. That's how it went down for the majority of us. Whatever format it was, we were and are hopelessly addicted. And whatever region it is that we live in, there's always plenty to get into a state about when we talk about physical media. And this time is no different. I can't wait to hear what people have been picking up. What, not who? In the nicest possible way, whether it's in a bricks and mortar store or through pre-orders or whatever. And we're going to take a look too at the general geeky landscape, as we always do on this show, because it's not a show. This is more of a journey, I like to think, Rabbi, to seduce you back to physical media, away from naughty hard drives, which, as Chris points out, they fail.
One like just to like the lords of
disk drive failure, read disk fail.
We
do not put our films on hard drives. No, we do not. We have discs.
And if you're wondering,
disk fail. Oh, you kissed it. That's just good. You're getting it moist. That's just gonna break it. Yeah, okay. Oh, you just lost all those movies. Well, sucks to be you.
Look, physical media falls apart as well.
It does not. It's awesome. No, your hard drive is going to fall apart because we know that hard drives fail and they get grumpy and then, you can pay $10,000 to get it recovered, or you could just buy discs. And if one disc goes, well, it's not an entire hard drive.
Well, but Chris, then you can't.
Hard drives cost about $30. I just back things up. It's not a big deal, baby.
EMP, mobile hard drives. Oh no!
Disk rot is easily legislated for in my... Look, before we get too deep into it, this is the point where I should remind people that this is Gary Akers, the retro doc. That is the rabbi from another planet. And there is Chris, the mighty Bolstrek. Our list of special features. And I'm Dan Hadley, Birmingham's king of the geeks, trying to keep things on the track, generally speaking, and make sure the disc is in the tray, Gary. And I've got my finger marks all over it. I've kept my fingers at the corners as I put it in like that. Then I press that. And everything goes in nicely there, doesn't it? Everything
unlike a hard drive.
Yeah, Dan, but that's all well and good, but I know you still miss the ka-chunk of the top loaders.
I do.
Oh, I remember them. Yeah.
I nearly called this show Top Loaders, but I thought it sounded like some sort of strip club. So the best
that used to be my startup noise on my computer.
We are in front of a live chat there on YouTube, as always. The people who are game enough or bored enough on a Saturday afternoon stroke evening, if the pubs are close by you or they're full of football supporters, you can steam in here with us and chill out. Unless you're watching this on catch up, in which case you don't know what any of this is about. You could be watching it in the week, obviously after closing time, or once the strip clubs have all closed down. You've piled in here. That's absolutely fine. So let us know what you're watching, what you've got pre-ordered, what you've bought, what you're looking forward to, where you've been, what you've been up to, obviously. But we can't take any responsibility for any repercussions for you disclosing your location or activities. But first of all, there's something positively criminal happening, Chris, in the world of physical media, which isn't generally speaking our territory, because at the moment it applies, I think, more to gamers. But I've often found, I'm not a gamer myself, but looking at the gaming industry is often an indicator of where the culture is going. Remember, Gamergate led to Comicsgate, which led to the culture war. I am starting to wonder if recent developments concerning specifically Sony and the PlayStation could spell further doom for us here as physical media enthusiasts. Have you seen this story break?
Oh, I did. Oh, Sony, you bastards. I'll start with that. The news recently, well, gaming... So, Gary, hi, Gary.
Hi,
Dan. I'm old. So go back to that picture, Dan, the one of the five consoles.
There.
So this is where I am with gaming. I owned the first four, some of them more than once. I have not owned the one that looks like the lady part, black and white. Owned the PS5. It is the worst. This entire generation is the worst generation in console history. Because normally when I do get them, except for the PS3, but normally mid-cycle, you'll usually get a slim version of the gaming system at half the price. Oh no, Sony didn't do this. They did come out with the slim one. That was more expensive than the regular one. It now retails for like $900 or something ridiculous in Canada. But no, so this is bad if you're a gamer, and nobody cares about Xbox, but this is Xbox too. Sony announced last Sunday that as of the beginning of 2028, they will no longer be making physical discs, to which anybody who does not have a brain said, yay, this is awesome, versus anybody that has a brain says, this is actually terrible. And Sony needs to have a word with their marketing department, because only a moron would schedule these announcements together. But I think it was like 3 days before that, Sony announced that they were removing 500 paid digital movies that people had in their Sony accounts or their PSN accounts because they lost their deal with Studio Canal. Right. So, and actually, they got community noted on X with their own post celebrating this. This is all part of You Will Own Nothing and Be Happy, because now you can only download things. And what happens when you don't have a physical copy? They could just take it away. And this isn't like movies. You can't. No, actually, you can't do that, Rabbi. Not with video games.
Back up with this, and they can't take it away from you. That's all you gotta do.
Have you looked into the DRM licensing for digital downloads for games, Rabbi? You cannot do that. Okay, and even if you do that, if it doesn't verify your little code, you can't play it. So you can't put a disc in your system. I still have my PS2 in the basement. I got some PS2 games. I can look it up. It will look terrible, but it will still play.
And put it onto a hard drive.
But here's the thing. So So the physical disc thing, that would be bad enough for people who still want physical copies, because you could still buy the box, but it's going to have a code in it. Although, to be honest, I haven't bought any PS5 games because I'm not paying their ridiculous prices for the system. But this is where a lot of people have an issue, and it is a legitimate issue. You do not have ownership of these games anymore. When they take it away, you will never be able to play it again. And as was demonstrated by this very company a few days before this announcement, I'm not saying, and these movies, and there were a lot of them, like Terminator 2 is an example of one of the movies that they removed. So say if in 2001 you paid a ridiculous price, probably like $20-$30. Oh, Terminator 2. Well, I can watch this. But now if you go to your PSN account, I'm broke. I have no money. I'm very sad. I need to watch something to cheer myself up. I know. I've got Terminator 2. Click. Where's Terminator 2? We no longer own the rights to stream this. But I paid you $30. You don't get that money back. This is where it's going, which sucks. And it gets even worse because people are like, what about Xbox? Well, Xbox is basically a dead brand. They didn't just lose this generation; they were completely destroyed. And now people are mad at Sony too.
Not being a gamer, Chris, I wasn't aware that Xbox sort of at some point in the last 10 years it's died a death, hasn't it? From the Xbox
it's still technically around. You cannot get in their consoles. The prices are just as ridiculous as Sony. Even though nobody's buying them, you can't actually buy them. But right after this, people were saying, "Oh, we'll just go back to Xbox." Xbox in their next console, which nobody is going to buy, said our next generation console will not have a disk drive either. So Xbox is doing the same thing. So
you can't play movies on it then. Right?
Apparently, it won't even come with an attachable one. So I don't know what. So that's basically done. No more games. So Sony and Xbox. So Xbox, nobody likes you. You're Microsoft, and Microsoft is the devil. I hate Microsoft to the point that when my current PC dies, I'm going back to Mac. That's how much I hate Microsoft. So nobody wants Xbox. So the Steam machine, when it comes out, will probably be around the same price. They're all going to be over $1,000.
That's really expensive. The Steam machine is really expensive. Yeah. Right?
But the reason why one of the main reasons why they bought consoles is, they were cheaper. You could use them in your living room, whereas primarily with Steam, like you can hook a TV up or a computer up to your TV, but it's going to be a royal pain in the ass. But when you get the superior Steam quality, where you can now buy a Steam console, put it in your living room, the Steam store is leagues ahead of PlayStation or Xbox. So I think this will be the end of both of them because their consoles. I think the rumored price of PS5 in the US or PS6 in the US is now $1,200, possibly even more. So the prices are going to be pretty close to the Steam machine. So why wouldn't I just buy a Steam machine? Quality is going to be a lot better. The store is better. Typically, they don't rip things off their service like PlayStation does. So, but here is the thing. Although I'm going to be positive for a second. So I want a smile from everybody. I see no smiles. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to be positive for a second and equate this to physical media. Now, yes, this is Sony, although Sony Entertainment, the gaming division, is separate from the movie division, and then there's the TV. Sony owns everything. They're like the dark overlords of the universe. But this isn't the same entirely. A physical game on a disc, at least from this generation, is not the same as a movie. Whereas even though now they're going to the part that they're getting rid of the discs, in most cases, the game hasn't been on the disc anyway. It's for this entire generation, except for like some smaller independent games. All the disc is basically a prompt to download the game on your computer, which of course they will do. But you will still, but you could send that disc to somebody else. You have to have the disc in your machine to use it, but you could still give it to somebody else. It's not locked to your account.
Gotcha.
But it's mainly digital. They're just making it worse where you cannot give the disc to somebody else. It's permanently locked to your account. Oh, and also if you get banned, you lose everything. So yeah, that's fun.
Hey Chris, is this, you know what this reminds me of? Remember back in the old days where like AOL used to send out in the mail those discs that you
God, I remember those.
And you put them in your system to boot up AOL on your drive?
Yep. I remember those. We couldn't use them, but for some reason we got them in magazines too. But the reason, so this is sort of where the difference lies between games and movies, or even music, although CDs, that is more an analog thing moving to vinyl. But for pretty much, and this actually started with the PS4. Some games would be entirely on the disc, some would be a prompt. I don't own any PS5 games because I have owned something from every generation going back to Atari. This is the first generation I have skipped completely because the prices are ridiculous.
I've noticed this.
But
really high.
It is different with the movie, whereas your movie is not when you have your Blu-ray, it's not a prompt to play it on a service. Although I'm sure they would love to do that. I have DVDs that I bought back in 1999 that still work fine. I'm not prompted for a code. My PS1, 2, 3, and 4 games still work perfectly fine. But with PS5, your disc is a prompt. They're taking some of that away. When you're looking at movies, it's basically different. It's not a prompt disc. The entire everything is on the disc, and your disc is basically day one locked, to use a video game term. They're not changing your disc. They're not updating their disc. So Sony is just basically finalized and making worse what they've been doing for 10 years.
Chris, I feel a certain kind of way, obviously, about them potentially getting rid, the impact of getting rid of hard copies, of taking them away as a matter of course, and how that could sweep across the entertainment industry. I do. But even worse than that, if I step away from my own preferences, the idea that people have potentially spent quite a lot of money purchasing movies, buying films in a format, in a mode of delivery that they were told was secure and future-proof. And now they've taken their money, and it turns out that they haven't got access to those films they have purchased. They didn't rent those films. It wasn't an open-ended rent or release.
Nope.
They bought them. And this makes my piss boil.
This is why I do not buy movies digitally. I cannot say that enough. Now, what Rabbi does is different. So I will. I think he's away at the moment, but I will.
No, I'm here.
I will back what Rabbi's saying here.
To
what you're doing is not, buying digital copies that are locked on a service that you can't even download remotely. You have to play these through the PlayStation Store. Like, do not. Okay, if you want to rent. Do not buy your fucking movies digitally. Nobody. Send them a message. Make this just die. And this is not the first time this has happened. This has happened before. This is not the first time it's happened with PlayStation. This happened a few years ago, where anybody who bought any reality shows from Discovery, those were wiped. So I think I'm a big fan of Ghost Adventures, even though I haven't watched it in years. But if I was buying digitally, I probably would have bought a lot of those, and they would have all been gone. So no, when you buy digitally, you do not own the right to that. And it's actually when you look at the terms, when you're purchasing these, it's several pages long. This was buried at the bottom of a paragraph in legalese. Every contract when you buy digitally is like this. I can say, take just as an example, I bought The Mummy the day it came out on DVD. I've upgraded it several times because I love that film. It was the Brendan Fraser remake. I still have that original DVD that I bought back in 1999. I can take it and I can put it into my current generation Sony 820 player. 27 years after I bought the thing, it's gonna play fine. And I still have a lot of DVDs that I haven't upgraded from the late 90s. Knock on wood, most of them still play fine. So I can take that. Another movie, one of my favorites, which I will finally be upgrading for the first time in 27 years, is Go, coming up by Arrow Video soon. But I still have that DVD that I bought at Future Shop in November 1999. It's one of those movies that I usually watch every 2 years. I can take my copy of Go 27 years after I bought it, put it in my player. It still works. Say had I bought digital content even 10 years ago, it's like, anybody remember Ultraviolet? Ultraviolet? Yeah, that went away. People lost all of those movies.
Yeah.
So it's like, I remember. I bought Go 10 years ago. Oh, you no longer have it, but I paid for it. You no longer have it. Oh, well, good thing I have my physical disc that I bought back in 1999 that I can put in my player. They're a scam and it's theft.
I'd assumed that the ultraviolet thing had evolved into something else, but they just killed it, did they? Victor Fontaine says here there is no exact statistic for this, but the estimates suggest that over half of all Blu-ray physical media owners use a games console, for example, the PlayStation 5, as their primary media movie player. I know loads of people who do that. Who say, I don't need a Blu-ray player.
Yep,
because I've got a console, Rabbi. It seems to be Victor's right.
Yeah, well, and that will be a blow to it, although physical media, not so much the DVD side, because those are boomers that actually refuse to adopt any technology after 1999. That's a whole special case that it's interesting phenomena. But no, but physical media collectors, if they can't play on their PlayStation, because if you're buying them for a reason. You're not going to stop collecting your physical movies because PlayStation phases them out. There are other 4K players on the market. At one of these days, I want to look into all these off-brand players that are suddenly appearing. I think there's like 4 different ones on Amazon right now, which is a good sign. Means that if Panasonic, Sony, and Magnetar go out, although I don't know about the quality, if LG and Samsung's drivers or players sucked ass, I don't know what the
We've got a question here directly for you, Chris, as well, from 4D69. This is to you, Chris. You've inspired me to get a 4K Blu-ray deck, a Panasonic UBB20 Refurb for £255 to go with his Highlander 4K and Blu-ray Steelbook.
Awesome.
The next stop is a 4K TV. Any recommendations for a 43-inch-ish size 4K TV for 40 there in the live chat?
Okay, don't get a 4K player for a 47-inch TV. Get a 67-inch. That's the first thing.
Well, it depends on space, Rabbi. But 40. Now, this is going to be very ironic, my recommendation. But Sony Home Video is a completely different division that has nothing to do with Sony Entertainment, which is the PlayStation. It also depends on budget. If you don't have a lot of money. Oh, no, actually, no, you're doing 4K. I'm not going to recommend something budget. You have the big 3. You have LG, you have Samsung, and you have Sony, and TCL is in there as well, which unfortunately is taking over 51% ownership of Sony, but that's a whole other story. So first thing I'd recommend, if you're going to do 4K, go 55-inch.
Yeah.
43, unless you're using it as a computer monitor and you're right up to it, you're not really going to take advantage of the 4K resolution. You need, like, I have 3 TVs, 2 are 55. My kitchen TV is 50. You do notice a difference on 55. So I would recommend don't go with 43 if you're using it as a sort of a home theater TV where you want to play Blu-rays. You want to get 55. I would recommend Sony, and it depends on your budget as to which one you're going to go with. I'll give you just a very quick rundown of the current lineup. So the entry level is the Bravia 2, which actually looks amazing. Problem is it does not have Dolby Vision. It's also standard LED. The Bravia 3 is also just standard LED, but it does have Dolby Vision. Then we go up to the Bravia 5, which is mini LED, which is the one that I would suggest, although it's not cheap. I know Canada, the 55-inch Bravia 5 goes for about $1,300. You can get the Bravia 3 for between $800 and $900. If you really want to break the bank, you have Bravia 7, which is also mini LED, but the quality is like holy shit. The Bravia 8, which is OLED, which is a technology that's now being phased out, but looks incredible. And then if you're a millionaire, and I know Gary wants to get one of these for his living room at 115 inches, but no, if you want to get although you're paying thousands for this, the Bravia 9, which is considered the best consumer TV on the market. I have seen this thing, and I didn't think anything on a screen that isn't reality could ever look that way. Although I would not recommend that. What I'm going to recommend for you, I'm going to recommend one of two, and it depends on budget. If these are too expensive, LG and Samsung, I am not a fan of. You might be safer with the Samsung, though, because quality control is a lot better than LG. So go with the mid-range Samsung. It will be less. It's not going to be the same quality. But the TV I am recommending for you, my friend, is, if you can afford it, 55-inch Bravia 5, which, if whatever I can afford a new TV, that's actually what I'm going to be getting, although it's not cheap. Failing that, the Bravia 3, which is almost half the price in some instances. Not many LED, standard LED TV, but looks fantastic. It does have the Dolby Vision. Don't go the Bravia 2 route because it does not have Dolby Vision, and you will not be taking advantage of that. Also, because you have the Panasonic 820, which is, and I have it, I absolutely love mine. The best player outside of spending $4,000 on the market right now. Like, this thing is incredible. This is the most I've ever played for a player. But in terms of the best example I can use is my Star Trek, the original series Blu-rays that I bought in 2009, which the quality had never been the best. I've started watching these on that player, and holy shit, like, it looks like 4K. Even DVDs look, I don't know what kind of encoding they're using, but even DVDs look absolutely amazing on it. So and obviously the 820 does have Dolby Vision built in. It's not manual switching like it is on Sony. It will switch automatically, which is nice. That's one of the gripes I have with Sony's lineup of players. You have to switch to Dolby Vision manually, which is why I'm going to recommend don't go any lower than the Bravia 3. You want to make sure your TV has Dolby Vision, and not all of the entry levels do. But yeah, and the difference for Sony, why Sony looks better than any other TV, and they've kind of managed the impossible twice, where they dominated the industry in terms of quality and sales with the Trinitron. But now in the current generation of TVs, their secret is, there's a few of them, they focus on skin tones, which is why their pictures look more realistic than any other brand. No other brand actually does that. Every panel that goes out down to the Bravia 2 is manually calibrated to make sure the light distribution is uniform.
They used to use things like Shrek and Toy Story to calibrate a lot of TVs, didn't they? But
yeah, they have their own proprietary method. But the other thing is the software. The X1 processor is insane. Their modern TVs at the high end actually track where your eye is going to be. Like, it's AI intelligence, obviously, but this is where it actually makes sense, where it will track in real time where your eyes are going to be focused on the screen. So it basically concentrates on that area of the screen. You can turn this off if you want, but I've seen it in action. It's actually pretty incredible. So
it's got to be weird with porn.
Victor, I hate you, Victor. Okay, the Oppo 203 actually was the best player. Well, Oppo made the best players ever. They were around for like 2 years, then disappeared back in like 2018. The Oppo 203 to buy used is like $5,000. I did not buy one when it was at Best Buy for $500. I'm kicking myself to that day. So yes, although I would not recommend tracking down any of the Oppo players, because the price is going to be insane. So Pioneer made amazing DVD players, Peter, and they briefly had a 4K player. Was the XL500. It was this big honking beast. It retailed for $1,000. It came out in late 2018. I was going to buy this player. I had started saving up for it. It was an amazing player. It was killed by the COOF because Pioneer almost went bankrupt and was overtaken by Onkyo. So that's that Pioneer player was available for a year.
That's what it is. You should have put a mask on it. We've got various technical questions. We will take them if we can. Of course, we will.
Wait, Blue Corner, you have the Magnetar? You bastard! Okay, we're gonna trade.
Magnetar's a Transformer, isn't he?
No, it's a very expensive Blu-ray player.
What is Dolby Vision 2 that Blue Corner made? What is that?
Second iteration of Dolby Vision. It's basically just an improved version of Dolby Vision. It's like HDR10 is
in a rush to get a new TV, then maybe wait to see what they're going to do with Dolby Vision 2. I think we're always waiting for something. The innovations are coming now.
Here's what I'll say, Dan. Usually, I would not necessarily, and I used to sell electronics. I did it for years. What I would generally tell customers when something new and exciting came on the scene. I remember when OLED first came out. I would recommend, because when something new comes out, or even when the first Dolby Vision TVs came out around 2016, 2017, even when those came out, the prices were insane. And also, the early OLED TVs, just to use an example, had a lot of issues, but they were LG, so LG has issues, period. Don't go for the latest and the greatest. Which is why I would say the Bravia 3 is, for older technology, the sweet spot. It's the best standard LED TV that's ever been devised. The Bravia 5 is a nice compromise between standard and premium. Anything that supports Dolby Vision 2 is going to be insane in terms of price. You're looking at thousands. So I would say, if you're going to wait for that to become affordable, you're going to be waiting a few years, perhaps the life cycle of a TV anyway. So I would say just go with what's on the market. Don't ever get the best. Even though the Bravia 9 is the latest and greatest, I would not recommend it because it's going to cost you a small fortune. Like the price is horrific. And that technology is going to be middle of the line in a few years anyway. So just at any time, don't go for the cheapest, don't go for the best, go for something in the middle. So the Bravia 3 or the Bravia 5. So that is my recommendation. That took me 20 minutes? Sorry, Dan.
Chris, so we've got Cheers Chris from 4D. No, it wasn't that long at all. Cheers Chris says 4D. I'll certainly look at some 55-inch then. I just need to relocate some wall art. So move some things around in the bachelor pad there.
Totally work.
Yeah, get on it and turn up the heat. Get some action on the go. So upgrade. I think upgrading is obviously it's never going to end, is it? With some things more than others. And before we move on to the meat of our conversation, I wanted to acknowledge this, particularly with us heading back to the final frontier very, very soon. It's Star Trek's 60th anniversary. You mentioned Star Trek a little while ago, Chris, and this is again a perennial that happens every few years. Not as quick as a new generation of TVs or Dolby Vision upgrades of various sound and vision things, but a new release, a new edition of the original series of Star Trek does seem to roll around with regularity. And Paramount, CBS announced this brand new box set that's coming in the autumn, collecting again the original series into a brand new, beautifully packaged set there for the 60th anniversary, emblazoned in those traditional, fabulous, original red, blue, and gold colors of the original designations from that original show there. And this, I think this looks beautiful. So are you tempted to upgrade this, Gary? Obviously a big Star Trek fan, I'd imagine, like me. You already own this a couple of times. Are you looking to triple dip or quadruple dip?
No, I will say I would love an art card of this cover because I think that's lovely, beautiful art.
Wall art, 4D. He could put this on his wall to make room for his 55-inch TV.
Yeah. I have 2 complete runs of the original series, maybe 3. So while I personally am not going to upgrade, I'm glad that I'm mixed about this. I'm glad that they are, for any fans who may not have it, I'm glad that they're putting this out again, hopefully at a nice price. There's one version with the lobby cards and the tat and the little vinyl record there. Yeah, and there's one I think that's just streamlined with just the disc, so you have the option.
Yeah, we've got both of them here.
Oh, it's not 4K. No.
What's the point
Blu-ray.
of not putting out a 4K release of this?
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, for the 60th, but they're going. While I'm glad they're doing this, let me make that clear. The fact that they're not doing anything to celebrate it with, say, like new extras or a new documentary or really anything like that.
Yeah.
And it's basically just a very nice looking, admittedly, kind of repackaging.
This is very tastefully done, Gary, compared to some of the sets we've seen before.
My favorite one was it the DVDs and Blu-rays. They're in the plastic, they're like rounded corners. Yeah, and you had a red one, a blue one, and a yellow one. I love them because they look really in universe.
Okay, now if you can see if you're kind of like a newbie and weren't really alive back at the time that this debuted, back at the bottom it says the record plays at 33 RPMs on most manual turntables. Now, if you're not familiar, a turntable used to be where you take that little disc, you put it on, and then there was like a little thing, had a needle on it, and you put the needle on the record, and it goes round and around and around, and the sound comes out the speaker, in case you weren't really sure what that was.
That's amazing. I thought it was for cake.
This is the 6 Decades Infinite World, celebrating 60 years of iconic storytelling. I love those lobby cards. I'm surprised they haven't done sort of 3 with the blue band and 3 with a red band, but I think the gold, probably does suit the images better. They're really beautifully chosen. I like the fact, I like that logo, the 60th anniversary logo. I like the simplicity of it all, and then the inner case there looks really, really 60s. So all of this, I think this is tasteful, and I believe this will age well. If this has to sit on your shelf until there's a 75th anniversary edition, then
it's beautiful. I mean,
the cover for the little vinyl record is great too. That's a great cover.
Yeah. Would you get this, Rabbi? Do you own these?
No.
I know.
No. And just to enrage Chris, I have
it will.
The hard drive I held up before. This has Blu-ray quality copy of all of the original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, all the movies. It's
going to be a sad day when that fails.
And no, this is my backup one. My main one is
going to fail.
See, Rabbi, this is where I've got to side with Chris, because when it comes to Star Trek, I would never trust my Star Trek library to.
Well, I just
that. I mean, I have physical versions of all Star Trek.
It's sacrilege, Rabbi. I kept my
I still own the Blu-rays. I just don't have to worry about it.
You've still got your. What was that? Sorry, Rabbi.
Yeah, all I did was rip my Blu-rays. That was it, right? And it's just more convenient. I'm sorry, it just is. No, and I did that when I realized.
You don't want to watch our Star Trek shows off a hard drive. You want that disc in the player.
Yep,
I understand you like your old ways. That's good. That's fine with you.
I like not the old ways. It's called doing things properly.
Okay, Chris, I'm trying to make your point for you. That makes your argument stronger.
I think he's definitely.
The reason I did it is because they took Star Trek off Netflix, and I think I'm canceling Netflix because what else is on it that I want? All right, it's but that's it. So now I have a dedicated Star Trek server with everything Star Trek on it, other than Discovery. And
I was just going to ask if you had the entire run of Discovery, Rabbi.
No, I don't have Discovery. I don't have Picard season 1 and 2. I have Picard season 3, obviously.
Yeah.
I think got Strange New Worlds season 1. Okay. When we still had hope it would be good. That was the coolest part of Star Trek from the last few years. When we had a run of 2 good Star Trek series back to back, and we thought, that's it, we're back, it's over.
Now, and here's the thing where it says. Now, I props to thumbs up to the marketers who had to come up with this. I think Star Trek normally, except before, except for the last 10 years, marketing Star Trek, leads you to inevitably, I think, kind of raise your game a little. I love the slogan 6 Decades Infinite Worlds. I would say, celebrating 60 years of iconic storytelling. Well, that's not really factually true. More like 50. but you know, I
go that far.
I appreciate the attempt. And like I said, if you don't have the original series on physical media, this is the way to go.
That's the beauty. There's always my brother has just bought these. My brother has just bought the original series for the very first time. He'd always sort of relied on borrowing mine or watching it with me. So there's people in the live chat, including Matthew Pound. I'm sticking with this release or that release because they've been out several times. Sure, they have. But I think these are perennial though. There are people who will buy every single release for one reason or another. And believe me, as somebody there's other shows that I do buy everything of that I've still got the VHS tapes of. You know the show I'm talking about. So I'm not going to knock anybody for doing that. But this does appeal to, obviously, newcomers, people who've just found the show, or maybe they've got their own disposable income for the first time now. They'll buy this edition instead. So I think this is a really good thing. And although, a lot of the cast members, I think the reason why there's no more extras, for the most part, is simply that we've lost too many people involved in making the show. And I think that time has probably passed now, Rabbi. That window is probably closed.
Yeah.
But if they can still consider the consumer with the vinyl LPs and move it with the time, whatever's fashionable now, people will frame those lobby cards and okay, they might only have them up for a couple of years, but they'll still treasure them and they'll put them back in the box when they're done. I think this is a really lovely thing. And if you don't want to spend out on this, there is a standard edition too, a standard Blu-ray edition. And obviously these are the original episodes as they were, but everything from previous releases is in here. So you've still got the option to watch them as they were, or with those new special effects that were done the best part of 20 years ago now, but still stand up. So all of that stuff is still in there.
And this is a great cover too.
There is a potential issue with these, and Paramount has I was actually just looking up on my phone if I could see if these had been re-encoded. I have a feeling that these are the same encodes from 2009, which is a shame because the original ones, they were encoded in VC1, which is an old Blu-ray codec that was basically retired completely about 15 years ago. They're at half the bit rate of a modern Blu-ray. They still look fine, but they don't look anywhere near as they could be. What I would like to see, best case scenario, I'd like to see the entire series rescanned in 4K, and I think this is one of the few series for posterity would be worth it.
That will make me get a 4K player. That would actually make me get a 4K player.
But I think I guarantee these are those 2009, originally scanned between 2004 and 2006. So these scans are 20 years old. I have a feeling these are still going to be VC1 because Paramount has a habit of re-releasing and repackaging the same discs over and over again. What I wish they would do, and I could be wrong, like I said, I couldn't find the information. This is just what I'm assuming. What I would love is if they did a re-encoding of these episodes using the modern AVC, which is the modern Blu-ray codec. Because you would notice probably at least a 50% improvement visually in terms of movement, and especially in terms of the color, and yes, in terms of resolution. So that's the big question I have for this. If I find out that this is a new encode, I might actually buy this.
Yeah.
But if it's the same ones that I've been watching since 2009,
you may want to check up on that, because I'm sure now you've just told me this tale. I'm sure that it has been. I've read somewhere that it has been re-encoded, but you're probably going to have to double check.
Did you dig that out, Chris, and let us know when you find that out?
Yeah, I will dig on the week. I was just doing some quick digging here on my phone as we were looking at it. And
so, Dan, while he's doing that, I have a question for you to go into speculation mode. So, is it a possibility that if they're kind of monitoring the sales on something like this, because then they could use that to indicate, oh, we should do a 4K because clearly there's still a market for this.
I would imagine. I think the rabbi's instinct is right. I think there'll be a lot of people. This could be a latchkey release. If they release, that will prompt people to say, "Okay, I've been holding back on 4K. I'm buying a TV, upgrading a player. But if they put this out in 4K, this could get a lot of people to pull the trigger and get on board with this next generation. I think that Star Trek is simply one of those handful.
Oh,
of
by the way,
IPs that
I have news. I just asked Grok, the Twitter AI, XAI, is the new 6th anniversary Blu-ray release of Star Trek original series a new encode? It says no. It's not a new encode.
No, and everything I'm looking at here, there.
Oh, look at the bottom. Look at the bottom of this. It says all 79 episodes with previously enhanced visual effects. So does that mean that's the 2009 one, right?
Yeah, that is the 2009 one. Like all they need to do is they don't need to rescan everything. A re-encode is basically like when you're editing a video on your computer. All the files are still there. You just save and you select your codec. That's effective. Now, it would be expensive, obviously, but that's what they need to do with these, where it's just, you don't need to change anything. You don't need to do the effects. Yes, please have both options available. They don't need to redo anything. They just need to even if you want to re-encode your original master files from 2004, that's fine. It will still look a lot better. But yeah, based on, I'm not seeing anything. I'm just kind of speed reading through some articles. I'm not seeing anything about the encode and knowing how Paramount works. I think this is the original 2009 encoding. Oh, wait, here we go. Let's just see. I have something here.
Okay, Funky's asking, so it's not the original effects. How many more times have I got to repeat this?
You get
both versions. I can't believe people still don't know this. Both versions, we say this every single time, are on these discs, so you have a choice. You have a choice.
Oh, and the next voyage features, the commercials for the next episode, they're still in low res. They have not been upgraded, but they're kind of charming like that.
Yeah, I like that
it looks like I'm just scrolling through a couple forums here. It looks like they are VC1. So I will definitely be passing on this. It looks cool. It's disappointing, but if you find this for a decent price, or it is a nice set, I'm not gonna. They don't look terrible. They are noticeably better than the DVDs.
Yep.
But they are nowhere near as good as they could have been. And I think if they were going to go through the trouble of making this set, Skydance, Paramount, you could have done a re-encode. Like, I don't think we're going to get it on 4K, but this give us something newer than an ancient 20-year-old encoding of these movies.
Listen, my set of Deep Space Nine and Voyager are fan upgrades to 1080. The Voyager's 4K, I think, right? And they're fantastic, right? I remember when I used to watch it on Netflix and went, why on earth did they not just run this? Why don't they just upgrade it like a fan did? Like, if a fan did it for free, then why don't Paramount do it or whatever? It's crazy.
Well,
yeah.
With you never know with Allison coming into Paramount. It seems like there's a push now to get everything back to the classic version of everything, which fans will, which will appeal to fans. I think really the sky is the limit in terms of what they want to do. In terms of, hopefully we'll be surprised at what they. All these decisions that have been stalled out for like 10 years, maybe the new broom will sweep all of that out and start getting us some,
and Gary, one thing media. The thing that I would really wish is, since you're going to be one company, let whoever is in charge of physical media at Warner, because they are on the same level as Arrow Video, let them handle physical media for your entire company, for the love of God, because the Paramount end has always sucked. Give everything to just get rid of your physical media people at Paramount, because they suck. Give it all to Warner, because Warner has in terms of older movies, they haven't put out a bad release. Paramount has put out a lot of complete shit. So there you go, Warner.
Well, next year
the big Star Trek news is the Axanar is coming out in a couple of weeks. Finally, after how many years?
Is anybody? I know. I was in.
Bear in mind, you guys, that next year is the 40th anniversary of Next Gen. So
we will.
Sure.
I bet that's going to get a 4K release.
Well, we should definitely look. We're bringing back Warp Drive very, very soon and expanding it too. So I think that we should probably review it Axonar, because I think it'll be on YouTube. I think it'll be viewable on there. As for the various anniversaries that are coming up, we'll absolutely be all over the 40th anniversary of The Next Generation. There's various movies hitting anniversaries too. But of course, look for in September our special shows for 60 years of Star Trek, everybody. So it's on the way. Warp Drive is on the way back. Don't miss it if you haven't caught it before. If you're a Trek fan and you'd like some deep dives on various Star Treks, as well as rolling reviews of the brand new series of Strange New Worlds, keep them peeled for all of that, as well as more physical media talk. We'll combine the two where we can. If you'd like some more, and why wouldn't you? Yeah, you gotta swipe left on this. Swipe left. Stay right where you are. We've got a bit more coming up after some of this.
Bitch. No!
Some reverb there.
Dan, that was actually a live feed from Chris's street.
No. That's my street on a good day, Gary.
You need to get the filth. Get the filth. What am I saying? Sorry, Starmer. Get the old Bill round. Set these guys on them. The three of them will make short work of the tweakers.
Baby.
And the wrong uns. But back talking about physical media. See Anything You Fancy was going to be my opening line. I have seen plenty that I fancied for very nice prices out and about. So I've been what Americans call, I'm becoming an American for this stream. You'll be pleased to learn, Gary, for the 4th of July. I'm going to stop calling it car booting. For the purposes of this stream, it's thrifting. It's what you guys call thrifting, isn't it? So I've been out and about doing some of that. And obviously I've been ordering things in a conventional way. I've even been into a bricks and mortar store and picked a few bits and pieces up. So there's plenty to talk about, despite the fact that Blockbuster has suddenly, there's a bit of algae growing on the roof there. It's not looking good for Blockbuster, but plenty of places are still around. I think that, things are coming back. I think physical media, I wouldn't say it's on the comeback trail as such when it comes to movies, but I have noticed bit by bit that the boutique labels in particular are doing more than their bit to prop things up. And obviously the expansion of the retro formats as well. VHS is strangely on the way back. I'm seeing more of that than I have in quite a long time, but it's DVD that still dominates, even in the 20th anniversary year of Blu-ray. I didn't get on board with Blu-ray until a few years in. I think I had my first Blu-ray player about 2011, something like that. But I've tried to make up for it since, and not least of all in recent times where I've been picking things up again. Not women, just things, picking bits and pieces up, and I'm very pleased with my recent findings, Gary. But how about you? What have you bought recently? Have you got anything you'd like to display for you?
A lot of only really a couple, three. I've actually been doing I've been going the budget route of renting a ton of stuff like from the library. I'm actually decided to go and do chronologically the whole like Mel Brooks oeuvre.
Oh, okay.
So I'm kind of going through, but I'm renting a lot of those from the library and stuff. But I'll start off in honor of the day.
Yes.
A great musical and a great drama. If you've never seen it, 1776 from 1972, based on it was a play on Broadway, and then they made it into a movie. It's the story, obviously, of the political battle to get the Declaration of Independence discussed, ratified, signed, and all the back and forth. The drama's great, the issues they're fighting over. And then, of course, they stop every once in a while to break out into song, as I'm sure they did back in 1776.
I still do that.
But the drama, between Franklin and Adams and all of the the reps of the Continental Congress, is really, really gripping and really, really well done. So I always watch this every July 4th, and directed by Peter Hunt, who did
Secret Service.
That's right. So and Peter Stone, who wrote, like, if you're a fan of the great Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn movie Charade, and several other 60s movies, he was the one that wrote that too. So if you like musicals or even American history, this is a great one. If you're not into musicals, watch this anyway, and then fast forward through the musical numbers, and then stop back when the drama talks, because that really is really gripping and well done. When they talk about there's a section where they're talking about one of the last sticking points was the article which got rid of slavery, which the Southern states just did not want to do, but they realized that in order to get this done at this moment, they had to do away with the article that would have banned slavery. And sitting from the vantage point of history, your heart breaks, because you realize that, like, 70 years after these guys are doing this is going to come the Civil War. So your heart breaks with the future knowledge of what they're doing. So you can kind of watch it on that level as well. So I recommend this.
That sounds nice.
One of my favorite fantasy movies, and I mean all-time favorite, possibly my favorite movie, fantasy movie. But I think a lot of people just don't know about this, which is tragic, because the people that worked on it, George Powell, who gave us like The Time Machine and several other great fantasy movies in the 60s. I think this is his best movie, staggeringly well written, just extraordinary movie. It's called The Seven Faces of Dr. Lowe, with Tony Randall. Basically, he's like this ancient bearded Chinese person. And before you go into the whole, why do they have like a, white guy playing a Chinese, there's much more to the character than that. So that you can do away with that objection quickly. But he appears out of nowhere in this secluded Western town and puts on a circus over 2 nights and changes, the people, the town. Tony Randall plays 7 roles, from, Dr. Lowe to a Medusa to Merlin to, basically, and it's like he appears and actually talks to people like he appears not only the way they expect him to, but the way that they actually really need him to. It's hard to describe, but the effects by
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, and everybody who worked on this, it's great. Barbara Eden is in it.
Now you're talking. Okay.
Yeah, Rabbi. There is a scene in here when they go to the circus. One of the 7 faces is Pan, the Greek god with the lyre of almost kind of like a satyr. And what he does, she's kind of fighting her attraction for the other kind of leading man in the movie. And there's the scene where she goes in, and basically the way they film it is he plays the thing faster and faster, and she's clearly getting, I'll be nice to say, hot under the collar. With that, and it's like, wow. So this is this is like one of those movies. It's like the best fantasy movie you've never heard of, but the dialogue is extraordinary. There's a scene where he's talking to like the young boy who's Barbara Eden's son, who doesn't have a dad, and he wants to run away with the circus. And Tony Randall's telling him that it's really all about the circus of your life. It depends on how you look at it. If you can hold a handful of dust in your hand and see not dust but like a miracle, and it's all about how you view life. And the dialogue in that scene is just extraordinary. So I give this the highest recommendation if you're a fantasy film fan. It's called The Seven Faces of Dr.
I'm going to look that out. Yeah.
And another one, because I've been kind of like on an adventure kick, got this off Amazon. They had it at a good price, from the early 80s. The complete series is Tales of the Gold Monkey.
Oh, that was great!
With Stephen Collins, one of the best theme tunes ever. And it's very much like a Terry and the Pirates kind of thing. I think at that time the network was pushing it for it to be an Indiana Jones clone, which it really is not. It's more like a Terry and the Pirates thing because you have
Gary. When I haven't seen that since it screened on British TV, which is probably about 1982, was it, Rabbi, something like that?
Yeah, around there.
I can still remember. I can still remember the theme tune.
Oh yeah, and it's like there's like Nazi spies on this island. There's like a there's like kind of like a dragon lady queen, which is kind of lifted out of, you know, Terry and the Pirates, and Roddy McDowell is like the French owner of the cafe. And so it's kind of like it's set in, I think, like the late 30s. So it's fighting Nazis. It's fighting. There's some, you know, natives and treasure hunting and everything that goes on. And
he's got a dog who wears an eye patch, hasn't he? As I recall.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
There he is, right there. There's the dog with the eye patch.
Oh, guys, I knew you could get this on physical media, but I've never seen it cheap enough. It's one of those. It's retained its value in Britain. I don't think that many people remember it. And
well,
so
here's the thing. It's not. Notice there's not even a studio listing. It's basically just you know what? It's Shout Factory. There you go.
Gave a shit.
And yes, actually. And it comes with 6 discs. There is a booklet, you know, all about the thing. And so, like I said, this was I was surprised the price was this low on it. So if you're kind of in a Raiders-ish mood or something like that, then there you go. For that.
If you're in a Raiders mood, just avoid King Solomon's Mines. That's just awful.
I love that as well.
And here's kind of here's an anti-recommendation. So because I was in this mood of like adventures and treasure hunting, I rewatched both of the National Treasure movies, which were fine and which were fun. Yeah. But I unfortunately then made the decision to watch the god-awful, woke-soaked spin-off that Disney did a couple of years ago called National Treasure Edge of History, which is a 10-episode spin-off without Nicolas Cage, with you know, it's basically like a CW version of National Treasure with like I said, the wokeness and the girl bossness and the box ticking just saturates it. Stay away from that.
It sounds awful. Like the Watchmen TV show. I've never watched that either.
Stay away from that. Okay, the worst thing about the Watchmen TV show is there were bits in it that were truly brilliant, but all the stuff about racism is just awful. It's just so much white guilt, and it's just not very good. But the bits when they don't have black people on screen is normally very good, which is not good.
I hope no one clips that.
My very last one, and I can't remember. It's been such a long time since we did a physical media purchase catch up. I can't remember if I had this by the last time. My favorite Bill Murray movie ever. I saw this a million times when I was growing up, and it remains Meatballs.
No. Oh God, I haven't seen that in a long time. It's great.
I do need to get that.
And this is great because I mean, this is the only way they offer it actually.
Was that from Gary?
In a steel book.
Oh.
And then you see the back of them too on the steel book. But then So I could probably recite this movie line for line. I've seen it so often. But,
Meatballs, Caddyshack. I used to love the really low rent stuff like Screwballs and Loose Screws. King Frat, if you remember King Frat, anybody? Yeah. All that stuff. Yeah, I love all that. I think that was a Canadian film. I can't quite remember. Yes.
And this is basically from Lionsgate, so they actually produced some decent packaging.
That's why it's so expensive.
So yeah, there you go. And so that's all for me this time around.
Absolutely brilliant. Again, I've made a little note of a couple of things there, particularly that one from Warner Archive.
The effects, the George Powell, effects in it are just, you will go, Dan, when you watch this, you'll go, how did I not know of this movie before? That will be your reaction. It will.
When it comes to looking at releases, obviously you can't keep track of absolutely everything, and there's always films from each decade that I've never even seen, Chris. And this is a prime example, your first pick, a prime example of a movie that I've been meaning to get around to watching now since it came out. The first one came out in, I think, what must have been the 90s for the original Mortal Kombat movies. This is something you've picked up recently.
Yes, so I have 5 pickups this week. I buy much less than I used to now because I live in a country that's in a depression, but that's a whole other story. But now I bought when I go through these 5, you'll notice Hell is Frozen Over, and there's actually more from Scream Factory than there is from Arrow. But I think, I'll go into that in a minute. But yeah, so this collection has both. So it has the 1995 original, and in 1995, this and Hackers, those 2 soundtracks, everybody I know played on a loop. So those 2 movies, because they came out around the same time, so they're about as 1995 as you get. So yeah, it's complete cheese, and I don't care. I love it. This one also includes the god awful remake, but it's actually, or the sequel, but that one's actually so bad it's good. And it didn't add much to the cost of this to add that. I think Warner just said, if you're going to release this, you have to release this trash too. So yeah, no, I haven't actually watched it yet. I'm sort of, the stuff that I've bought, I'm kind of working my way through. Every Saturday I watch one of my fancy new movies, so I don't go through all my cool stuff at the same time. But this is my one Arrow video release, but it's Arrow. It's fancy. It comes with a nice book and all sorts of things. So it's got a slip cover over their nice hard box. So this is like a big chunky box. So I was quite excited about this, and I'm looking forward to going back to 1995. And the night I watch this, I will be watching Hackers right after it. So I'm going to go back to when I was 17 and the world didn't suck and there was still hope for the future. So yeah, so that's that. What did I
love that they give movies like this, which, I mean, in my case, it just fell between the cracks in the pavement. I think it was not long after there was a Street Fighter movie with Raul Julia and Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kylie Minogue, and I watched that and I wasn't particularly impressed.
That is not very good.
Yeah, I kind of, and I dipped on any kind of video game movie for a really long time, but I know a lot of people who say that first film is fun. And so perhaps I should take a look. Have they just released? Did they remake it or make a new version of this recently that did okay?
Yeah, I picked up the Blu-ray of the first one, which came out I think in 2021 or 2022. I actually just watched it recently because I ended up going to see the sequel. I ended up going to see that with the nephews because they wanted to go see it. I didn't mind it. Like it's there's a lot of holes and things that just don't make sense, but it's got some great action scenes. The reason why I like the 95 one, it is pure 95 cheese. It's one of those, we all have those movies that take us back to certain times in our lives, and that's why I love that movie.
Yeah, there's about 50 of them with me. I can't. Good stuff.
Probably 100. I have movies that could mark like every period of my life because movies are awesome. Love movies.
Movies and TV. You bought some TV too, so these are in the order that you sent them to me. So
okay, good.
This must be a TV. This is TV shows.
Funny story behind this one, and chances are, if you're younger, you've probably never heard of this. And this is a strange situation with this show. This show basically vanished from existence for about 2 decades.
I've never heard of this.
So I'm sure Gary knows this because this was huge over here.
I know that show.
Yeah, this was one in the mid to late 90s. It ran between 95 and 2004. This was in the top 10 every week, basically right behind Seinfeld. This show was absolutely massive for its first 5 years. It had a drop off unlike anything I've ever seen after the end of the 5th season. They decided in all their infinite wisdom, our viewership has dropped by 75%. Well, let's just renew it automatically for 3 more seasons. The final season of this show is one of the worst.
Did it go? I didn't know it went that long.
Oh yeah, I went till 2. Well, there's a reason for that. Nobody knew the final season was on because they had to go through this contract. The final season, a lot of the cast had left. It is awful. Like it's like you're watching handful of casts that's left playing completely different characters.
Wow.
The network cared so little that they aired the entire final season over the summer, 2 episodes a week. And I think they put it up against.
So for somebody who doesn't know who Drew Carey is or was, I really don't know was he a
Price is Right
kind of like a Jerry Seinfeld type where they built a show around a personality or a comedian to showcase him?
This was designed as the anti-Seinfeld. It was, although Seinfeld was the original inspiration. This is Drew Carey. He's like the everyman who works in middle management at a department store. The first 5 seasons of this show are awesome, and then the 6, 7, and 8 are okay, and 9 is a disaster. But here's the funny thing about this show. So the reason why a lot of people, especially if you're younger, have never heard of this before, even though it was one of the biggest shows on TV for several seasons, always in the top 10 week after week. This vanished from 2008 to last summer. You could not watch this anywhere. So reason being is there was a lot of music incorporated into the show.
I see.
So there were rights issues, and there were syndication rights. TBS used to play, I think, 2 episodes a day. That's where I watched a lot of these. The syndication rights expired in 2008. Only the first season ever got a release on just regular DVD, which I think that was 2007. So before the syndication rights expired, they were not able to get the rights to all the music that was used in the show. And Drew Carey was not, I think by this point, I think he was already on Price is Right. He was not going to compromise. He's like, no, you're not going to put out an edited, modified version of my show. So it lost its syndication deal, was no longer aired on TV, was unable to get streaming rights, and outside of that first season had never been released on DVD. So this is like the North American case of that British TV show that disappeared. This show vanished from existence for 17 years. Unless you put your pirate hat on and went on the seas, you'd find that was the only way you could watch this show. It wasn't airing. It wasn't on streaming. And only 1 season was on DVD, which eventually went out of print. And then for some reason, and I actually just found out about this. Like I actually got this yesterday. I was watching just a retrospective on shows, and they were doing something on Drew Carey about how this was the show that vanished from existence. And then at the end, but then in 2025, they finally got the rights to put it out on DVD. I'm like, what? So this came out last year. I had no idea. And this is a show I've wanted for years. So I go into Amazon. It's actually during Prime Week. So I'm like, no, how did I not see this? So I go search it. It's on sale for Prime Day. I'm like, well, God damn it. So I bought this. This was not a planned purchase. This will take away from something else, but I'm going to finally start watching it tonight. So this is actually one of the most excited I've ever been for a series coming out. But yes, this show was one of the biggest shows on TV that vanished from existence.
I just was checking Wikipedia when you were talking, Chris, and the fact that this show had over 230 episodes. So good luck as you sit down and dig in for all 230 episodes. Ironically enough, Dan, in my opinion, the best character on this series isn't even on this cover, which is Craig Ferguson played the boss. And to me, that was the best. Why they don't have him on the cover, I don't know, because at this point, people will still know Craig Ferguson.
That cover, I'm pretty sure, is from season 1. He wasn't on the show yet.
Yeah,
but
they had a fantastic opening credits with a big.
There were 3 opening credits. The first season, it's basically just Drew Carey, just kind of singing an old fogey song. Then for the second one, they had what was the song called? Around the World from the 50s or from the 60s, like an insane musical number. It's considered one of the best openings of all time. And then in season 3, they went with the theme song that ran throughout the rest of the show, Cleveland Rocks, which was recorded by presidents of the United States of America, which I think is, to this day, one of the most, I love that song. I think it's still one of the most iconic intros. Like they used to do they did have musical episodes. They also used to do actual live episodes, which the network did not like. Where usually about once a season they would do an episode live as they'd air. I think they do they'd actually do it multiple times for each time zone. And I think it's like the best version is what ended up on the disc.
I'm going to say comedy was be the most, how can I put this? The bravest thing to try and do live. I think it's one thing.
Well, not just that. They didn't just do scripted shows, Dan. They did improv shows where it's like, we're going live. We have no script. We're going to do it as we go live on air. I don't think I've ever seen any show do that before. Like this was, but the fact that it just vanished, it's like one of those things where you shake your head. I'm like, and over 200 episodes, although I don't watch them all at once. I usually watch bits at a time. So I spread it out.
So you guys, all three of you, Rabbi, you know the show too?
Yes. Yeah, no, I moved to the States, when was it? In 96. And it was on, it was huge. It was a genuinely huge show, always entertaining. I remember it it imploded in its last couple of seasons.
The last season is horrific.
Yeah, I didn't stay with it that long.
And then the same cast went on to do Whose Line Is It Anyway, I believe.
No, they did it simultaneously.
Okay,
it was.
Oh, I recognize the guy at the back in the checked shirt. That's where I've seen him.
He was on the English version as well.
Yeah. I hate that show, but I won't hold it. I won't hold it against any of these guys. I think this sounds really good.
I think he was in the Phantom Menace as the guy, the two-headed commentator for the pod race.
Oh, I know who you mean. That was a guy called Greg Pubes. That can't
be right. Yeah. So he was in that as well.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, this looks really good. I'm gonna have to look this up. See
highly
if there's a couple of episodes on YouTube.
You can get it for like around $60 for 9 seasons. I think on sale Canadian that was $62, which is well worth it. It's DVD. I honestly don't care for sitcoms. I'm fine with DVD. My player upscales them perfectly. They were edited in standard def anyway.
£45 here. When you sent these along, I thought this can't be right. Chris has sent me these pictures. Where's the horror? And then I opened it up, and sure enough, the next choice is a horror movie. And what a movie! What a movie!
Oh, good one.
So this is where Hell freezes over. I ended up with I was going to say this was my final Scream Factory release. I think there's 2 of them. So this one, the only reason this came out, and this is actually one of the nicest sets they'd done, but that is not representative of current Scream Factory. This had been in the planning for years, and the AI that runs the Scream Factory division now, I guess, just finally decided to shit this one out, and they screwed up the audio. So good work, Scream Factory. Next.
So you wouldn't recommend people pick that up?
It looks fine, but I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, this is your premium release, and you couldn't get the audio proper. You suck. Okay, next. So this is a case where the AI currently running the corpse of Scream Factory accidentally shit out something that people found interesting, which it has not done in a while because the company's dead. So this is them from 1954. A classic horror movie. And like I said, I'm almost certain they put this out by accident because everything they put out now is complete and utter shit. So this one, for some reason, they didn't screw up. So I think this was, it's like, you fall flat on your face over and over again. And one time, maybe you fall into a pie and you have a good day because you got pie on your face.
I've never seen this one, Chris. This isn't the one with Joan Collins in it, is it? And the
no, that's Empire of the Ants.
That one's something special.
That was from the mid 70s. This one I think is from 1954.
Yeah, 54.
This
black
is actually
and white.
actually considered one of the seminal 50s, monster movies because it's like giant ants irradiated because of the nuclear bomb. So there you go.
Sounds good.
I was amazed when I saw it because this is, to summarize, Scream Factory, which used to put out on average 6, sometimes 4 amazing releases per month when it was run by competent people and not an AI robot. This year they've put out 5, and they're announced up to, I believe, September now. They put out 5 under the Scream Factory umbrella that were not packaged re-releases in here we put this up before, but now you can get it in the steel book for an extra $60. No. So what they put out this year, the grand total of 5. So they put out The Devil's Advocate. apparently it's a mediocre. I passed on it. Apparently it's a mediocre at best transfer with no extras, and they called that a collector's edition. Idiots. Then they put out The Haunting. Well, they screwed up the last black and white upgrade I got from them, so I passed on that. Then they put out these ones. Them was cool. They screwed up Day of the Dead. Then for some reason they decided to announce the Dark Shadows remake movie for an overpriced steelbook, which I will be passing on. So this company that used to put out 6 or more awesome releases a month, this year under the Scream Factory umbrella has put out 5. So this is why I say might be my last, because this company is a corpse. So there you go. Me being
Dan, at the same time, Dan, I don't want you to raise your expectations, because while this is a good, as I said, a seminal 50s horror movie. I actually saw this again a few months ago. It was on Svengoolie. He ran this. Dan, I want you to. I just have to be the one to tell you there is no scene in the movie where a busty, scantily clad woman like on this cover gets captured by the ants. So I don't want you to go in expecting that.
Covers lie. That was typical. Most of these movies back then, you'd have this amazing scene that does not in anywhere happen in the movie. They loved doing that in the 80s, where you go to the store, they'd have that low budget straight to video movies. Every single one of them had some hot naked lady.
Tearage.
If you were expecting some Sydney Sweeney stand-in fighting the giant, no, that's not what you get in this.
No, we just got to remake it with that. You just came up with it.
You were lied to.
So if them remake them and call it, if it was to star Sydney Sweeney, I think I'd probably call it Them Titties. Them Titties.
There you go.
Well, watch The Housemaid, Rabbi. It's got her very scantily cladded. We won't see you for a week, and you'll put.
Well, I did get sucked in, and I'm pun intended, into Euphoria.
Yeah.
It's hose Rabbi down. Hose him down.
Yes, we have to do that quite a lot while I was watching it. That's a good show. I was surprised how good it was.
I'm going to be getting stuck into that at some point in the future. We've got one more from you, Chris, too. This looks like a bit of a monster. That's what she said.
So there's a front and a back to this, but this is one that. This is Shudder 10th anniversary collection, and I only had one movie that was in there. The other 9 have been in my cart, and they typically sell for like between $35 and $40 in Canada. So I've been meaning to get them, although I'll tell you a frustrating but odd story about one of the movies in a second. So if you go to the next shot.
There we are.
So on the back, so some of these I'm waiting until the fall to watch. But if you look at the bottom right, was the one that I really wanted, Late Night with the Devil.
Night with the Devil, is that?
Yeah, but this is going to be a sad story.
That was the original title of Rabbi's stream, wasn't it?
But this is a frustrating story.
That's just how I go to bed, baby.
I have failed twice at getting this. Well, we know what you do at night, but no, this one I've now failed twice because before Shudder put out their own version, I had ordered this an overseas region free version, which I waited for several months, and then was informed that it wasn't actually a thing and was never going out. So I was sad I didn't get that. Then Shudder announced it. It was like $40. I'm like, I'll get it at some point. Then several movies that I had wanted to see were on here, and there was Late Night with the Devil. So one night, I'm like, Sky, my dog who watches my horror movies with me, I'm like, Sky, we're finally going to watch Late Night with the Devil. This is awesome. So I go in, it's like, it's got some artwork in that portion of the sleeve, and I pull out the disc. I'm like, The Rule of Jenny Penn. What? So literally, the wrong movie was in there. So I did not, in fact, get Late Night with the Devil. But I ended up watching this because it was another, I don't know how it ended up in this set. It's another Shudder.
Okay.
Somebody screwed up somewhere. Actually, that movie was awesome. It stars John Lithgow in probably the most terrifying performance I've seen him in, and he can be terrifying. It's about an old age home and a creepy old man played by Lithgow that just terrorizes the residents, and it makes you don't want to ever get old after watching this. But
that's the Joe Biden story.
It could be, but the downside of that is I still don't have Late Night with the Devil. But one movie I must give a shout out, which people have been telling me for years I need to check this out. It's like one of the most terrifying things you'll ever see. No, nothing scares me. So Skinamarink. What to say about this? So, I've talked about Suspiria in the past, a movie that replicates a nightmare. This replicates a childhood fever dream nightmare. I have never seen anything like this. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. But if you love it, it will be one of the most disturbing movies you ever see. So you know how when you go back to your earliest memories, when, say you're 4 or 5 or whenever that comes, and sort of how you, especially in the analog age before digital, you don't really know how the world works and everything seems kind of scary and you're sort of looking up at everything. And you have those dreams, those kind of waking nightmares that you have as a child where you're half awake, half asleep. You always think you're seeing something in the background. That's what this replicates in a brilliant way. You have to watch it completely dark. There's no music or anything like that, because it literally replicates a childhood nightmare, and it is absolutely horrifying. And when I was looking at it, I'm like, it's so grainy. I'm like, it's not on film. No, the guy who directed this is an absolute genius. So you know how when you're seeing things in the dark, you think you might be seeing things off in the distance.
Yeah.
And everything has a grainy look to it. At night when your eyes are adjusting, especially when you're a kid, where you think you're seeing something, but you're not. So he actually filmed this in his childhood home. And what he did, it's shot digitally, but the lights he brought them down as low as he could, maxed the gain out on the digital camera, which gave it this natural grainy look where you're constantly looking to see if there's something actually in the background and you don't know. It's hard to describe. I would recommend watching this. This is not something you can watch. If you just put this on in the background and do other things, you will hate it. No, this is a rare time where you actually have to immerse yourself in the film.
Skinamarink.
Yeah, you have to. All lights have to be turned off. For the first little bit, you're like, okay, what is this? Why is the camera not moving? And then as it gets deeper and deeper, you get sucked in. And then literally it's like you're 5 years old having a childhood fever dream. And it's actually, it's the film itself, it was filmed in, I think, 2022. It takes place in 1995, which I think that also works out well because they take advantage of the analog world in certain ways. Like there's some really creepy stuff involving a TV set, which on its own is terrifying. But I think even if you're a millennial, like 1995 was, I had fever dreams myself back then because I was high all the time, but I was 17. I wasn't a kid. But I think if you're a millennial, which, I think a lot of Shudder's fan base is, 1995 probably would have been roughly when you would have been this age, having dreams of this nature. There are 3 interpretations of this film. Each of them are absolutely horrifying. Each of them makes sense. The one that I came up with is this is actually replicating a childhood nightmare. But the 2 theories, which I will not say here, watch the movie, then look at the theories. They are just holy shit. So I will say this. There are a handful of movies that actually scare me because I'm very jaded and old. This game, back when I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one as a kid, and to this day, I think it's one of the few films that's actually scary, or Threads, which is also horrifying. I almost never get impacted by a film like this. And this one, after I finished it, I'm like, okay. And I had nightmares that night. It was odd. And it's like, I live in Canada. My whole life's a nightmare.
I like but no, it's a brand like Shudder that has only been around for a decade is trumpeting about their achievements here with these films. For people such as me, I'm aware of them, and they've got their own channel, their own platform.
They actually have a lot of their movies are IFC, which actually used to be released through Scream Factory. Some of these films are foreign. So when Scream Factory, because they suck, they lost IFC when they lost everything else because they're absolute garbage. Or just a second. Sorry, I thought I heard something, but no, I thought there was like a crackhead outside.
Oh,
no.
I see.
IFC, but they're distributed by IFC Midnight. So Shudder picked them up after Scream Factory completely destroyed that deal along with everything else because they suck. So most of the Shudder movies, and I think all of these, are IFC Midnight. Most streaming movies, when you watch them on Netflix or, they're just bottom of the barrel, like made for the lowest common denominator, so you don't need to actually pay attention. No, Shudder's movies are actually fantastic. And most of them are experimental. A lot of them are very different. And several of them, like I said, they're foreign movies, which IFC used to do on Scream Factory. So some of these have subtitles. But I would say I would recommend this set. It's less than $10 a movie. But unfortunately, in the case of a certain movie, I now have to make a third attempt to get it. So I'm just going to get the actual primary release. And
can't you just like contact the company and say, hey, I got a set that has the wrong movie?
Yeah, send me a
no, because I decided I wanted to keep the movie that came in it by mistake because it was actually really good. That's the John Lithgow movie. So I've decided, because if I did, they'd make me send that back. So I'm like, no, I actually want to keep this. So I'll just, this is one that I would have ended up keeping anyway, or would have ended up buying. So I'll get my missing movie, whose name I shall not name because I think it's cursed, at least in terms of me. But we'll try getting it again.
It's available on the Second Sight label as a 4K.
Oh, it's actually got multiple releases. I'm just going to get the just the standard Blu-ray because I'm not going to bother. If I try importing this movie from Second Sight and pay the $100, it's going to get lost in the mail. So I'm not going to do that.
Well, Chris, maybe if you contact them and tell them, hey, I have a YouTube channel, they might be intimidated into just sending you the replacement without requiring.
Actually, you know what? You're not wrong there.
I'm saying is for like $25 or $30, it's not worth the effort. I'll just buy it.
Okay.
That, and maybe they'll ban me if they check out my channel because I haven't. I used to cover physical media. I haven't done that in like a decade. Now I just yell at things.
Excellent choices, excellent pickups, Chris. Have you bought anything, Rabbi? Have you?
You know what? I was just looking.
He bought a new hard drive, folks.
Actually, I am getting a new hard drive. But I was just looking through my Amazon cart because can we just share the screen?
Yeah.
All right, because I'm getting divorced this week, and I'm getting ready for a bit of retail therapy. So I got my Amazon cart very loaded up, and it actually has 4 Blu-rays in it.
Jesus Christ! And you're going to rip them and put them on your damn hard drive, aren't you?
Yes, obviously. Is there? If you
saying anything, you're not going to watch the actual disc, are you? You're going to watch.
No. In fact, I might just piss on it. There you go. So the first movie is the new.
There you go. Good choice.
Yeah, I would have got the 4K, but I don't have a 4K player, and I'm like, my TV's very good at upscaling. Anyway, then for you, we're going to go to the comics as well. Final volume of Jupiter's Legacy. I didn't know I came out. Letter 44 is awesome. It's a very involved alien first contact with alien thing. It's one that and this compendium has like the entire run in it. It's fantastic. But then we got Picard season 3, right? It would be a crime not to own this on physical media. This is a show that it didn't just exceed expectations, right? It blew. It just blew us away. Right? How good it was. Sorry, what was that?
It's the last nice thing we got. It's basically Star Trek saying, "Yes, we know we've been serving you shit for 5 years. This is what we could have given you. Now we're going to go back to shit. Thanks."
That's essentially what happened. Yes, Deadpool versus Wolverine, because I got basically all the superhero movies from Fox, and this is like the other two Deadpool movies.
Same as me. This is the only one I haven't got.
Right. So I think it's time to get it. And finally, I'll go through the comics if you want as well. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, I love this movie. I
still haven't seen it.
It's great.
And I watch it often on Disney Plus in 4K.
You got some good comics in there too, Rabbi.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. We'll go through the comics. Kill or Be Killed compendium. Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, wonderful writer-artist combination. They constantly deliver very interesting books. Right. The criminal series is excellent. My favorite one of theirs is called Cruel Summer. Big recommend. They're releasing all of Rogue Trooper, so I'm like, yes, okay, I think it's time. They're also re-releasing Slain in oversized. You can get it in hardback edition, which I would love to, but it's just
I've got some of the hardbacks from that range.
It's so expensive, but I love the books. But I already have it, but I got it in the other range where it's the smaller print. So I really want to get the new scans, better print of Slain, and I think I'll keep up with that series. Complete Dice Man. I wanted this as it came out, and I just couldn't justify buying it. Thank you for my divorce. Now I've earned it. Right now, my life is complete. A couple of Judge Dredd books. A Penitent Man. This is a judge who has served his time on Titan, right? And they have their face like all mangled with these are corrupt judges. Any judges that are like arrested, sent to jail. They go to this awful planet called Titan. So this guy came back, and he's a truly penitent person, right? And it's a strong story, right? It's one of the nicer Judge Dredd stories, actually. One of the scarier ones is Control. What happens when the special justice system head is insane? Special justice investigates the judges. The Complete Shakara. I love Shakara. It is bonkers.
She's a good singer.
The first page. It's like they're like 4 or 5 page strips, black and white with just one bolt of color. I got the first volume, and I thought, well, I'd rather just get the complete collection and buy the second volume. Garth Ennis is doing Rogue Trooper books. I'm like, I'm going to certainly check them out. I'm looking for the Rogue Trooper movie, and also Rogue Trooper stuff is already out. The Definitive Slain.
You're a big 2000 AD fan.
Oh, I am. Well, this is what I'm really catching up on. Slain the Horn God Anniversary Edition. I've wanted this since it came out. It's oversized. It's rescanned. Simon Bisley blows your mind with it. This is where he really exploded onto the scene. He was doing very, very cool black and white stuff up until then on ABC Warriors. But when he did Slain, because I didn't think you could get any better than Glenn Fabry, right? Glenn Fabry I thought was perfect in Slain. He's the artist, and this is totally different and brilliant. And what I would really love, right? There is a audio version of it, like there's a radio play they made of it. And if somebody would just get the artwork and scan it into AI and marry it with that audio, you would have the most insane fantasy movie you can imagine really easily, right? And it will be better than the animated Lord of the Rings, or it'll be one of the greatest animated movies of all time. Because the technology is there, and they've already done the performance, right? Nemesis and Warlock, they also have this oversized edition, which I wanted to get the whole run on.
Wow.
I used to be friends with Pat Mills, but sadly, he's not a fan of Israel. And he hung out with me in Israel, but like now he became vehemently anti-Semitic, sadly. But his works is still fantastic.
Rabbi, I think that while we're all watching, you should hit go to checkout and then hit buy while we're all watching.
No. I'm waiting until after the divorce. I'll do it next week if you want, right? I'm doing it next week.
Buy them all at once.
Okay, I am. So that's the. But I'm also going to be getting the. Like Blake 7 production diaries, things I've wanted for years.
I'd love to get those, but they're just too expensive. I can't.
Like I'm in the spiller. Thank God I'm one of the only men ever who have done incredibly well financially, as well as every other way out getting divorced. Like it's I'm even actually earning more money now. So listen, I don't recommend divorce, but for me it's good.
I do.
Yeah, I'll tell my divorce story one day. It's been a long time. Not as far in the past as when my first pick was made, though. This is a movie I've never owned on physical media, and I've always wanted it. I haven't seen it probably for 30 years. It used to be on late night TV all the time, and it's just somewhat of a classic. It stars somebody who played Mark Grayson on Dallas. If anybody knows who I mean, they go with the big chin and a moustache. But the lead actor was actually James Caan, and it's a little movie called Rollerball from 1970.
Awesome.
Picked up the Arrow release of that. Might as well go for Arrow. Go boutique or go home now. I think we're at that place. If I've waited all this time to own this on physical media, go to the top. You can still pick up I think it's a Warner's release. You can still get that. But this, I thought this was sort of irresistible, really.
Wow. Or if you hate yourself, Scream Factory put out a 4K. Although it was actually one of their last year before they suck, so it's actually a fine 4K.
I've got some bits and pieces in here.
That packaging is perfect.
Well, there was a choice as well, a choice of the original artwork there or some brand new artwork. I prefer, in this case, I do think the new artwork is really nice. I do like this. I like this.
You made the right choice. You made even though it's better, you made that's iconic, that cover.
I feel that way too. I think that whenever I would have rented that on a videotape, whenever it would have been like the mid to late 80s, then I just think this is a brilliant film, even though I haven't seen it for a long, long time. Looking forward to getting reacquainted with Rollerball after such a long time. They remade it about 25 years ago, didn't they, with the guy from American Pie in it, which
that was awful.
Very
that was horrible.
But it never harmed my memories. This is the next show I expect them to make a high-end streaming series of in the Westworld sort of mold. It wouldn't surprise me.
That would go well.
And again, because we haven't talked about this for a little while, I've had a birthday since the last show. At which point I had this from my brother. So I've gone into the colour years now of the Avengers with Patrick McNee and Diana Rigg there. I'm buying them all on Blu-ray. I'm acquiring them all on Blu-ray. I say this was a present. The Avengers is it's a series I've been wanting to get reacquainted with again for years and years and years. Now, as there's so much, I think that television, there's so much of it, but I seem to find less that appeals to me. So I'm rewatching old shows more and more and more. The Avengers is a unique series. I loved everything about it. Haven't seen these again since I was a kid, but the sense of humor, the sense of suave, this kind of vibe. I'm completely about this. And of course, now that the new Avengers is available to buy, I feel that I won't always be missing that. I think one of the reasons why I haven't bought them before is because, but I want the new Avengers too, and I want them all looking the same. Now I know I can get everything. I'm happy to. I've added this.
Who's the producer? What's the studio of that?
This is Studio Canal that puts these out.
Studio Canal.
So they've just put out the new Avengers as well, and they're very nicely packaged. They're digipacks inside. So there's no hard box, but it's well made stuff.
New Avengers on Amazon now.
Great,
this is a quality release, and I'm looking forward to watching them. I'm still watching the black and white ones at the moment, working my way through. But the last thing I want to do is run out of avenging to do and to savor. I'm also looking at your George Powell movie on the Warner Archive label, Gary. It's brought to mind at last we've got the Warner Archive in Britain. And a few months ago, I picked up Time After Time, the Nicholas Meyer movie. But this very week, I went into HMV, and they're doing various different offers. Of course, they've got to have everything I want on offer at the same time. So I thought, well, I'll buy this week and see how I work out. 2 for £18, one of which is a Warner Archive release. And these are 2 films, again, I've never owned on physical media and I've always wanted. So first of all, in the 2 for 18s was with Christian Slater from the mid-90s, Pump Up the Volume. Anybody remember this movie?
Awesome. Great movie.
God, I haven't seen that in years.
I haven't seen
with that. Happy Harry Hard-On. I haven't seen it again for a really long time, about 15 years. I had a VHS copy, and then I think it was on late night TV, so I taped it off the TV. Might even be in 4:3, so I haven't watched it for a long time. I always wanted to own this. Here it is on the Warner Archive label. So I know it's not a boutique label as such, but as I understand it, this is as good as it gets for this movie, at least for now. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this again. I'd imagine it's aged as most of the 90s things have, as I have. But I still love Heathers. Still love this.
Great stuff.
Great movie. And to make up the offer, the 2 for £18, I couldn't believe my luck. Action Jackson with Carl Wilson.
There you go.
Look, how could I not buy this, Rabbi? There he is.
Yes.
Just for the cover.
It's a genetic imperative. By the way, I have to make an announcement, right? I'll turn my camera off. I have to make an announcement. Because of this very stream, I have just added the new Avengers Blu-rays to my my Amazon cart. That is coming along with it. I can hold back no longer. She cried.
Oh dear.
Neither could Steed. Yeah.
Have you ever heard the Big Finish recreations of the Lost Avengers stories?
I haven't. No, I'd like to.
They're really weird. They're nothing like the Avengers. Like nothing like the Avengers.
I do like those early series of the Avengers, but they're a different animal. They're different.
They're totally different.
The 2 for $18, is there like? Does that mean like there's like huge bins of these, and you just pick out whatever 2 you want?
The whole wall. There's several others I'd like, but they'd be things I'd be sort of double dipping on. Things I've got in one edition or another, or in box sets, or curiosities. Whereas when you see 2 films, that these have always been both of these films. I've always wanted to own these. I know that Action Jackson's been available for quite a while at various places in the world, but now it's in this sort of, they're slim boxes as well. But yeah, it's good stuff. So, and slim movies as well. The girl at Vanity is in this with Carl Weathers. I understand they're both now no longer with us, but yeah, I haven't seen this for a long, long time. Looking forward to those. And I also treated myself in CEX because I traded in some movies and I think I got about 50 quid's worth of vouchers and I wondered what I was going to get. So I've still got some there to chip away at. But I saw this hard case edition of these films, which I was hoping that because they've got a Warner Brothers deal, that Arrow were going to release these and pimp them out a little bit. But I think I'm going to be waiting a long time. So I finally pulled the trigger on a second-hand copy, hardbox copy of all 4 Batman movies there from 1989 until 1997.
I got that set. That's a good set.
Yeah.
The only set I've got of these are DVDs. They were, again, one of the first DVD sets I bought, so it's 25 years old. They still look okay, but I wanted these on HD. I think you can get the first 1 or 2 now on 4K as well.
Oh, you can actually get all that. Well, actually, Dan, I got the 4K set just before Christmas last year. It was an odd release, but I recently watched Batman Forever. And it is actually one of the best looking 4Ks I've ever seen. Just the Warner release. It looked incredible.
So is that a repackaging, Dan, or is it like there's new features and stuff in it?
It's just a simple repackaging. And the inside isn't particularly attractive. It's in a hard box. This is a rock hard box. And inside 2 Amaray packs with some really quite shitty artwork on them. So it could be better, could be worse. But right now, these are on Region 2. This is my only option for these, unless I do want to go 4K.
They look great. Like they, even the Blu-rays look incredible.
I love the first 3 films, and I can tolerate the 4th one. So for me, these are kind of seminal fantasy movies. I've always loved them. I'll be rewatching at least the first one in the coming weeks, and then I'll save Batman Returns for Christmas.
I would at some point really hope that the long mooted like director's cut for
the Schumacher cut.
Batman Forever comes out, because apparently there's like an hour's worth. Some of the scenes are on YouTube, like where he's down in the cave and he realizes, he finds this book that his parents left him, and like they should have kept that in. But apparently there's like an hour of deleted stuff.
Is that the one with Batgirl?
Yeah, no, that's
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, that's the special one.
So,
Dan, I have a question for Dan.
Who's the villain in Batman Forever? Is that the Uma
Tommy
Thurman?
Lee Jones and Jim Carrey.
Oh, I was actually quite good. I like Jim Carrey in that. Yeah.
Get the 4K. For some reason, it is the best looking 4K I've ever seen. But I do have a question for Dan.
Yeah.
So, because you have that, you are aware that there is a sequel TV series to that you must have. It was and it is marketed as a direct continuation of those. And it is something that you must get because it is absolutely brilliant. In 2019, there was this amazing show called Batwoman that was released. I reviewed it on my own channel, and it is a sequel to those films, takes place in the same universe. So if you're going to get those, where is your Blu-ray copy of Batwoman, Dan?
My mistake, mate. I'll add to cart. And see how I get on. Just to answer Matthew Pounder, where is the nearest HMV in Brum? So there is a big HMV only on one floor, but it's in the Bullring Centre. They did have a larger one as well outside of the town, one of their vault stores where they've got a load of discounted. It's like a wholesaler. They've closed that down now, but the one in the Bullring is still there, and it stretches right the way back. It's sort of like in a horseshoe. Very strange the way the shop is, and they're very well stocked in there. So go there. But my local branch is the Merry Hill Centre, just outside of Dudley in the West Midlands. Funky will know where that is, and they've still got a HMV in there, even though they relocated and the new shop is half the size of the old one. To be fair to them, they'd got a lot of copies of these. The wall was full of 2 for 18s. So yeah, they're not letting us down in that respect. But with the boutique releases, it's not as good as it used to be.
And Dan, are you telling me that your HMV did not have that Batwoman Season 1 Blu-ray set?
I've never looked for it, but I will go scouting on my next trip. I will, because I do need to get more TV shows in. I've certainly.
Well, you need that one because Ruby Rose is something else.
Yeah. Well, I quite fancy the girl that took it over, the girl with the frizzy hair, the black girl. I thought she was quite cute, so that couldn't be the worst move. But no Batwoman, but instead I have got a Bionic Woman starring Michelle Ryan here from the makers of Battlestar Galactica. When was this? The mid to late noughties. Never seen this show. They only made about 8 episodes of it.
Yeah, does it have the unaired pilot on it?
It was such a bad experience for Michelle Ryan. I think she came back to Britain on the next available plane and was never seen again for a little while. I think she.
Well, that was a victim of the writers' strike.
And she's
I
EastEnders.
just found on fanedit.com you can get the Batman Forever restored cut with everything in it.
There you go. Go wait to the.
Have you seen that before? Have you seen this series before?
It had a fantastic pilot that wasn't aired, and then it was really, really good. And then the studio the station, the channel meddled with it, and they sanitized it. And what they aired was like, awful. This, I mean, it was the original pilot's fantastic, but this is just garbage. It's really sad.
Isn't Miguel Ferreira in it? Or there's some quite Ferreira.
Katie Sackhoff was in it.
She was the villain, right?
Yeah. Katie Sackhoff.
Spoilers.
I love her YouTube channel and her social media thing. She's doing these rewatches of Battlestar Galactica. It's really fun, right? I'd say it's really fun. Anyway,
was this a blind buy, Dan, or have you watched this before?
It's a total blind buy. I've never seen it, but again, it was only £1. And I thought, well, if it doesn't go to me, it'll go to landfill. It was the car boot sale. This was
for £1, you're doing it. Like, give it a try.
Yeah,
I put it like it's in the same range as the Planet of the Apes TV show.
I loved that. I actually have that. I have that.
I have that too. I have it on a hard drive.
You bastard.
It's just something I can. It's like one of those TV shows like Dark Angel with Jessica Alba, or True Calling with Eliza Dushku. That kind of silly show. Fine by me.
All the TV shows you need hand cream with.
Honestly, I think too. I mean, granted, it's an iconic franchise and stuff, but I think it's one of these things where it's like with like Wonder Woman. It's like the original portrayer is too locked into people's memories, and they just do not have any interest in anybody taking over. In this case, for Lindsay Wagner, because it's like people just say no. Bionic Woman, Lindsay Wagner. Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, and they just don't want to deal with anybody else.
I don't know about anybody else.
The unaired pilot, they would have had a real hit on their hands.
The Nicholas Horton in the live chat says there used to be 2 HMV stores in Birmingham, all caps. There used to be 3, if not 4, when I was a kid. So there was a 2-story one on Corporation Street. There was a smaller one, which is sort of in an underpass, and there was a wholesale, sort of a similar kind of wholesale outlet. So there was several all over the city. HMV used to be such a big deal in Birmingham, and they used to have all the big bands and things there. It was a great time to be into music and to be into movies. Everybody used to turn up and go to HMV when it was in Birmingham. So whilst I'm not chomping at the bit to see Bionic Woman, that's something that I will watch here and there. When I've got an idle hour, when I fancy watching some fit bit of stuff, striding around, being bionic. But my final pick is something I've been after for a long time. I have to treat myself to this because it's held its value. I bought it through eBay. I paid a little more for it than I wanted to, but I think I've been watching it. It's been in my basket for a long time, and I've been watching the price gradually go up through Amazon. And I think, okay, if I don't find the cheaper alternative this soon, I won't be able to get it. And it's never been repeated on television, on British television. And I don't even think it turns up on channels like Talking Pictures TV or That's TV or anything like that. So this seemed to be my only option, my only chance to own this series from 1983. Give Us a Break here by the writer Jeff McQueen.
Well done.
Do you remember this, Rabbi?
Robert Lindsay, right?
Paul McGann, David Dacre, and Cherie Taylor.
This is a good show. Did they do 3 seasons?
What's
this about?
They only made the one series and then a feature-length movie version to wrap it all up. It's very much in the Minder mold. So Robert Lindsay kind of plays Arthur Daly. Paul McGann plays Dennis Waterman's part. But in this, rather than it being about sort of organised crime, Paul McGann is a young up-and-coming snooker player that Robert Lindsay takes under his wing to be his manager, his promoter. David Dacre is also a wheeler-dealer in there, and Cherie Taylor.
This is
Robert Lindsay's.
BBC One or BBC Two?
It was when this was on in '83. This was a really big show, but because Jeff McQueen, the writer, who'd worked on a lot of those shows and would later create a show called Common as Muck, which was about bin men in the same kind of mold. He only wanted to. I think he might have written the book first, but it was a sort of finite thing that he wanted to do. And back then they didn't believe in spinning this stuff out indefinitely. And you could say that Minder probably went on for 5 series too long. So with this, it's the other end of the wedge. They made just 1 series and a feature-length special. I love this, and we were all about snooker in my house. I played snooker for a long time, snooker and pool. And I'd even forgotten that Paul McGann was in this, despite him playing another part for the last 30 years. And Robert Lindsay, I've always liked Robert Lindsay. Cherie Taylor, who was in Dragonfire, a story in that show. And, of course, the David Dacre, who's recently passed away, they were part of this sort of ensemble cast, very similar to Minder. Lots of fun, as I remember, but I haven't seen it for 43 years, so I'm about to find out. It even got the Radio Times cover back then. Cue for action, Paul McGann and Robert Lindsay say, Give Us a Break, in BBC One's new drama series. That was in September of 1983. And it wrapped up the following year with that special. So
was this one of his first parts?
It was Paul McGann's first leading part, as in the lead of a show, because he'd been a singer before with his brothers in a kind of rockabilly band in the late 70s and early 80s. So this was his first proper acting part.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was going to say, because Whitnell and I was still a few years away.
Whitnell was 86/87, wasn't it? So it's just a few years later, but that was obviously his breakout role and the monocled mutineer on the BBC. So he was going places by then, and Robert Lindsay was a bona fide star. But I didn't, to me, they became their characters. Robert Lindsay was always Citizen Smith for me, primarily. But I know that I latched onto this right away. Again, wow. I'm glad I pulled the trigger on it when I did, because it's continued to go up in price. I finally have Give Us a Break from 1983 in my collection.
Now, is it going up in price because of Paul McGann?
It's just going up in price because no one. It's such. This is a forgotten, like Chris was saying about the Drew Carey show. This is forgotten TV. No one ever talks about this show. It's kind of like, I suppose, comparing this to Minder, it's the equivalent of comparing Street Hawk to Knight Rider. There's people who watched it, there's people who remember it.
Yeah.
But, Knight Rider is the iconic show, and Minder was the iconic show. And this is the same, I suppose. And that's why people tend not to remember it. But, yeah, I remembered it. I was a BBC kid.
I can't get over how young he looks in this picture.
Sorry, Rabbi, what did you say?
I just remember it being just good, solid quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really good. I'm chuffed for you.
Well, I don't have any kind of golden goose, or what do they call it, a white whale that I'm hunting. But there are certain series whereby I've always wanted them, and Give Us a Break was one. So I finally have this. Victory is mine, everybody. Victory is mine. Thank you for the comments in the live chat. What have people said about some of this? Yeah, more people reeling from the Bionic Woman being cancelled after one series. I know. Yeah, nobody likes that Bionic Woman show, it seems.
Well, it was, like I said, it was a victim of the writer's strike because they shut down production after like 8 or 9 episodes, and then it was a multi-month thing. And then when they started up, it was like, should we even bother, bringing this back?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Well, no, I'm not running it down, but it's just like they looked at the ratings. The guy says, "Is it worth?" remounting
and continuing. It was touch and go for far bigger shows than that. Even Heroes, I understand, was touch and go for that. We've got Tower. Funky says I still miss Tower Records in Brum. Tower Records was only open in Birmingham for about a year. I went to it on the opening day. The Spice Girls were opening, and I wanted to get an Eiffel and get a bargain, and I got both. It wasn't open for very long at all. People talking about HMV there too. So I love Common as Muck, says Funky. You can get that on DVD. I've seen it, but I don't own it myself. People reminiscing about Minder as well. ITV aired it late night. What's he talking about there? What's Matthew Pounder talking about? Not sure.
Maybe give us not give us
that show.
This was a BBC show.
That was late night on ITV. That was BBC.
Yeah,
probably.
And wasn't there a Bionic Dog? There was no Bionic Dog in Give Us a Break. I know that much.
It would have gotten 2 seasons if it would have had a Bionic Dog in it.
Thank you guys for indulging me there. It's some good times ahead for me rewatching or watching. It is mostly stuff I've seen before, really. There's no new movies as such, but I've got lots of those to see. I've got to get in June and June Part 2 before the 3rd one comes out. Various other things I've bought recently, but lots of stuff there I've wanted to see for a while again.
Go for 4K for Doom. Totally worth it.
Rollable. I don't like. We mentioned this before. I wasn't as charmed by the first one as a lot of people, so I'm happy with the Blu-ray for that. But who knows after I see the second one, because I haven't seen June 2 yet. So I'll watch that. I'm going to give them both another day in court. The first film didn't wow me in the way that it wowed other people, but I'm open. Maybe I was having a funny day when I saw that there. So we'll see. Thank you, everybody, for joining us there on that trek through our latest pickups. There, no, not pickups, Sydney. You'll have to wait, love. Maybe another time. But so when we're not, look, we can complain all we like about the streaming age, and I try not to. But when there's still things you can add to your cart, there's still physical media out there. You've got boutique labels and smaller labels like Simply Media putting out things like Give Us a Break, so I can finally see this show again. Then, this is part of the fun for me. And I don't want things to get so obscure that I can't ever find them again, Rabbi. But the thrill of the chase is quite cool, isn't it? When you find this.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's always fun. And again, Give Us a Break. It's always fun to find stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was a children's series as well, Rabbi, called Joss's Giants, about an
I remember that.
12's football team, which there's no way that's going to be as good as I remember because I was 9 or 10 when it was on. And I know you can get that now too. So that's another one that's that in my sights.
There was a sci-fi telly movie on the Sci-Fi Channel in the 90s. I would love to find. I have no idea what it was called. White something or other. I think it was called White Wolf or something. I don't know. But it was about this doctor on this remote colony somewhere, and they had these funky gloves that if you put them on, you could go inside somebody's body. It was really weird. Anyway, there's no chance I'm ever going to find that because nobody can work out what the hell I'm talking about.
P. Diddy had a pair of gloves like that.
Yes, they did. Listen, I have to tell you, my crackers, they got creamed about 20 minutes ago.
You got to roll. Oh, no.
I got to roll, yes. Oh,
you're going to miss the Frank update.
What?
You're going to miss the Frank update.
Oh, well, I can't do that. Okay, fair enough.
We're about to finish this edition of the show and roll out. Yeah, but the Rabbi's crackers are indeed creamed.
No. Now I'm intrigued to hear the update. I will hang out.
I think could that somebody might have put the title of that movie, Rabbi, in the chat just now. Is it called Small Giants?
You go and look at that, and I'll play a bit of this. right at the back. Yeah, all sorted. What was the film? What's been revealed?
I looked at the wrong one. That's it. They're saying Harsh Realm.
No, Harsh Realm was a short-lived TV show on Fox in the 90s.
Chris Carter show that got canned.
And it's not the one. It's not Small Giants.
Small Giants.
Yeah, it's not that. That's the first thing I looked up.
The Twin Peaks spin-off. That.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
I just checked that. Not the right thing. Yeah, no one's ever going to be able to find it. Anyway, as my crackers are creaming, let us hear from Frank.
So we've got a new update. So things aren't going very well for Frank, and you may notice he's lost some weight because he's starving on a farm. I don't know how that happens, but it's Frank, and he's an idiot. Now, I believe his farm may be in Canada. Either that or God has had it with Frank, and the pigs have been conspiring with God. And so God is now sending a tornado in the direction of Frank. And you can see that Frank is not entirely happy about this situation. And it makes sense. Nobody wants a tornado. But you can see how much fun the pigs are having because we know how much they hate Frank. Now, the pigs don't seem to realize that they are in the path of the tornado of death brought down by God as well. But it could be they just hate Frank so much that even if they are taken out by the tornado, it's worth it to watch Frank suffer. And I don't know what's going on with that beard and those sideburns. So Frank has been running from the devil. But it now appears that even God has had it with Frank's shit and is sending all the forces of nature directly in his direction. So I don't know how this is going to work out. I guess he's going to have to replace his hay bales. But we are very happy for the pigs because we know how pissed off they were with Frank. And they're just loving it. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the pigs. We hope they're okay. And hashtag fuck Frank.
Frank reaps the whirlwind.
He's a special goat. So I think the summation is Frank's attempt to be a farmer appears to be ending in disaster.
It's not going well for the lad, is it? It's not going well for him. Well, thanks for keeping us updated. As always, we're all deeply concerned, mostly for the pigs. I can't argue, mostly for the pigs. There we go. What would a physical media night be without an update from the glorious world of Frank? I couldn't agree more. We've got people demanding. So this is going to have to wait. Lots of people talking about the Supergirl movie in the live chat. I've noticed. I was going to touch on that, but we simply haven't got time. So keep an eye on the channel. I may pop up talking about the Supergirl movie at some point in the week. And I've got. I know that Chris, you've probably made a video about it. Is there anything else you'd like to plug? What's going on the channel, Chris? Did you make your Supergirl video? And
I did. And yes. Dan and I see differently to this, but I was very happy to watch that.
I've got an update. I've seen Supergirl now, so I can update you on that at some point when I do.
I saw it too and found it mostly harmless.
I was well Millie didn't. Millie's an idiot, so I enjoyed watching it crash and burn. And Richard, yes, the Batwoman reviews are still on my channel. Just search Bulls Trek and Batwoman. My official name for her was Woke Batman.
Woke Batman. Excellent stuff. So that's the Bowls Trek channel there for all of that. Rabbi, you're streaming tomorrow. I don't doubt.
I'm streaming right now, baby. Let me tell you, that's how cringe my crackers are.
What's on the agenda for tomorrow? Can you tease? Can you tease people what you've got in store for them tomorrow?
I can. We are doing a 4th of July show tomorrow, even though it's the 5th of July, because that's just the way we roll, baby. I got on the thumbnail Matt Smith inside a very American-looking TARDIS wearing like an Uncle Sam outfit, and Karen Gillan dressed in as the Statue of Liberty. And they're reminiscing. Do you remember when we were huge in America and everybody loved us? And Karen says, "Yeah, them were the days." So that's what you got to look forward to tomorrow. What will it be? I don't know, my normal cyber filth. Whatever I think of at the time. That really is my channel, right? I have a rough idea what I'm going to talk about. I have things like, but you know how easy it is to knock me off course. Like, somebody will ask me, like, what's the best way to make steaks or that, and then I'll go for like a 2-hour stream on that. It's very easy. So what's it going to be about? I quite like this movie, by the way. I was like, it was fun. I
enjoyed watching it crash and burn.
Is she an idiot? Well, yeah, but so aren't they all? At least she's young.
I am a very angry person, Rabbi.
At least she's young and she's quite spankable.
I think she's, I quite fancy her. It could have been a lot worse, let's be honest. It could have been a lot worse. I could not pull that gag, could I? Yes, so stay tuned. So if you want to find out the Rabbi's take on Supergirl, it's on his channel. I may talk about it at some point in the week, because when I started to go back to the cinemas a bit more, Gary, so I saw Masters of the Universe. I've seen Supergirl. I'm going to try and go and see more of the films that are interesting me on the big screen. So more movie reviews, more new stuff may well return to this channel at some point, maybe in a chill stream format or something. So if you want more on my opinions about that stuff, then make sure you're subscribed. I'd really appreciate that, because this is a tiny channel. This is something we sort of chip away at, mostly for a laugh, for a few cheap laughs, and to weather our way through the 21st century together as aging geeks. So that's really the business, the day-to-day business of things here at the Spacebook. So you get what you get in a similar way. I'm
actually really glad, Dan, that you call this channel the Spacebook and not Aging Geek. So I just want to give you, I appreciate that. So.
I tell you what, the name Top Loaders got a great response in the live chat. So maybe a new version of the show called Top Loaders might not be a bad idea.
I think I could be up for that.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, cheers for joining us as well, Gary. Of course, some great picks from you. As always, I've got things scribbled down that everybody said, including the Rabbi, certainly on the reading as well. Things I'd never even heard of. So
happy 250th, America.
Yeah, I didn't know. This hasn't been publicised much in Britain. The fact that it's a particularly big year. We've only just got the 4th of July stuff turning up in supermarkets, so it could be a while until we sort of denote any especially special.
You need to go back to that store before they remove everything from the shelves and see if they can get. No, the Taste of America.
Oh, Aldi, yeah.
And have them give some of those like boxes to you, not ditch the boxes, because those are.
Yeah, I could just sort of put it behind me for next year's display.
Absolutely.
It could be a laugh. Yeah, I may well do that. 250 years, says Richard Brooks. Yes, you're quite right. Funky says, aging geeks love top loaders. Top loaders for president.
You know what? I think you've stumbled onto it.
Living in America, says Peter Harrington there. I think he's, again, we're back to Carl Weathers, aren't we, living in America? And Great News Bowls Trek, says Richard Brooks. I think he plans on binge watching your reviews of Bat Woman there. So evergreen content from Chris there. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Batman.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. The Rabbi's crackers are creamed, and we are all flagging and flailing and next to flaccid. So don't waste any more of your valuable screen time here listening or watching us rambling on. You can go and catch up on some of the early editions of the show right here in the playlists. But until then, go and bugger off and watch something nice and enjoy the rest of your weekends. We'll see you back here for more whenever we feel like it. That's the general gist of it. Until then, stay safe. Bye-bye.